Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Radio.
Garcia leads from second. The pitch. Swing and a high fly ball. Deep right field. Way back and long gone. That is a monster shot off the bat of Vinny Pasquantino.
Now Smith will clear. The Stars had to work for it. They had to sweat for it. But they got it across the finish line. Dallas 5, Colorado 3. And this second round series is knotted up at 1 game apiece. Left side Lafreniere sends it in. Round the boards it goes. Missed by Orlov. Played it. Score! Score! Yes! Left side Lafreniere sends it in. Round the boards it goes. Missed by Orlov. Played it. Score! Score! Yes! Yes! The Rangers win it in overtime and lead the series 3 games to none. Doncic, slow dribble into the jump circle, left off of Lively. Solid screen. They'll let him step back and take a 3 and hit it.
Oh, he's feeling fine, and he talks to the Thunder bench.
Yeah, staring down that Thunder bench, and a few words there, too, and a timeout by Mark Agnew with 9 minutes remaining.
The Cavaliers have tied this series at 1 game apiece. Caps win 118-94.
And success is making those kids, putting those kids, those players, I came from public school, so I still say kids, but putting those players in position to be successful. The number one reason we're here is not Matt Rule. The number one reason we're here is those players, and to help them meet every goal and check every box that they have.
Good morning. Welcome into Hurrdat Sports Radio. AM 590, ESPN Omaha, ESPN Tri-Cities. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here on the Pillar Exterior stage. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, if you want to see our bright and shining faces this lovely Friday morning. DB, how are you?
Shoot, I'm still using Shine Down. I hope it's not bright. Is it bright?
Shine down?
Sometimes I use it's white powder that you use from when you have a head as misshapen as mine. Sometimes the light hits it funny angles.
You didn't mean like the band Shine Down?
I know Shane was thinking Bach, but I
let your light shine down.
No,
not that.
No.
That didn't really seem like your type of music, but you're pretty versatile, so I didn't know.
I know, and sometimes it's like I'll just say whatever is. I maybe just heard last, and so I may not even like the song, but it's just in my head.
Like you sang Oasis for like a month straight. And I'm like, you big Oasis guy? You're like, nah.
No.
Nah,
but
really
it was the whole supernova thing.
Yep.
Like the Champagne.
Who got another win last night?
Yeah, they're balling.
Got that sweep.
So that league is definitely declared. There are 3 halves, and everybody else is just in it for the ride.
Yeah, there's a power structure there for sure.
Yeah, so good on those fine ladies. But the light thing is not a hill I would like to die on, but I would like to frequently revisit this.
Yeah, we got a little
I get it, but I don't.
We got a little Annie Lennox situation here, blinded by the light.
Wait. Shane.
Is that right, Shane?
No. Blinded. It's dude.
Man for Man.
That's Annie Lennox.
Well, Man for Man sang it too, but
that's Annie Lennox.
Who's Man for Man? Is that like
Blinded by the Light
type of defense?
Could be.
Yeah.
What did Annie Lennox sing?
I don't know.
Walking on Broken Glass. That's Annie Lennox.
Yeah, and I said Vows, and you wanted to argue about that, and you ended up being right.
Well, I mean, listen.
You're 2 for your last 2, but the Michigan State thing, I wasn't really like giving pushback to. I just like, oh, this would be interesting. But I mean, yeah, scoreboard. Annie Lennox scoreboard.
That's fine. I
mean, I'm gonna have to take a few.
So
I'll give a few.
So here's what I've noticed on the music.
Right on the chin.
Just take it right here.
The loss.
On the music stuff, Shane's beating me most of the time.
Movies too. He's pretty sick.
I've been better on the movies than Shane.
You've
recently.
been boning up a little bit. Well, because you got him on Walking in the Woods or Dappers or Dapers or whatever Vapors. What was
I don't even recognize what we're doing here.
What was the Sopranos thing yesterday? The episode?
Pine Barrens.
Barons.
What
he said Barrows.
Walking in the Woods. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I was thinking of the old boy from Taken.
Yes. Yeah. Liam.
Yeah. Is it Tombstones? Shane, did he walk on Tombstones?
Did he walk on Broken Glass? Was he Annie Lennox?
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna lose my mind already.
It's 7:05. It's too early for that.
Well, I feel like I'm just juggling a lot of balls. I was thinking of walking on tombstones, and then I don't know where
Like
I
the
get.
movie Tombstone? I'll be your Huckleberry.
Haven't seen that movie with him? They're all the same, but basically he's tracking down.
Yeah, he only makes one movie.
Yeah, find a guy, kill a guy.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Which, like, hey, whatever works for you.
I kind of like him though.
No, I do too. He's like
the
compelling.
gray was pretty sweet.
That's the one with the wolves.
Yeah, I'm pretty mad at the ending, but
I didn't watch The Gray.
so I read like 6 different variations of what we could have thought happened.
Yeah,
I wanted him to win.
yeah.
I don't know if he did.
He
though.
probably didn't.
Why have to?
I'm just saying,
It's Friday.
like man versus wolf is not
feel
really.
free to be positive.
After like
I am positive. I'm pretty positive he got eaten by a wolf.
after doing like 5 or 6 of those movies, he said he wasn't going to do another one like that,
And
but he's
then
up to like 10 or 12 now.
Immediately, yeah. You know why? Because paychecks.
Yeah,
Hey,
he's probably doing okay though. I
Jax.
don't know what his lifestyle is.
Yeah, okay, but like you'd be doing okay, and somebody comes up to you and like, "Here's $10 million to do the exact same movie you've done before." You'd be like, oh, "Okay,
It's probably low too.
yeah." Like it's probably more than that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
No, I'm with you.
like you can have a lot of money, and $10 million is still like nice little.
Just the lowlights.
Fudge. Yeah, I get it. Like people get out of bed for all sorts of things. I was planning on having a nice little quiet weekend. Nope.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
What are you doing this weekend, DB?
Exactly. It's funny he used it.
That's literally how it played out.
Yeah, fudge.
Yeah, right.
I was like, dang, man, driving service will be here. What time?
Hey, listen, there's worse ways to travel than a driving service, though.
That just means I'm stuck.
That's true. That's probably why they're sending it.
First world problems.
Yeah, it's true. You know, there's worse problems to have.
The only
There's still problems, though. You know,
no, huge positive.
Yeah.
Like I don't have to worry about what to eat.
you got taken care of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my players came over last night. He's fantastic. He came over and sat on the back deck. The two of us, we were solving all the world's problems. He's watching me cook and stuff. And I'm glad I'm losing one more mouth to feed. I'm like deep down. This is so weird. I'm elated.
That Caleb's going to be eating on somebody else's dime next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely elated.
That's not bad.
Well, and it's not stressful. It's just very strategic.
Sure. Yeah.
This time and that time and this and that. And
Well, yeah, because we were talking about.
and it has to fit because, I mean, I'm not always going to run out and get, hey, hey, this is what we have to choose from.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this.
Well, because, yeah, we were talking about Kristen Coggins yesterday or a couple days ago or every day.
And she's so tickled. I tell her all that. I say, you have no idea how much this fits. Oh, vitamins, not a problem. Food schedule, not a problem.
Oh, we're on it.
Mapping out when he eats, it's annoying. You love to do that for a living? Air high five. Here you go. Take him.
Oh, you mean this is your job now? Love it,
dude. And that's just who he is. Like,
yeah.
Hey,
well, you got to, right?
1120 or like 150 or I'm like,
there's a reason she's better at it than the rest of the world, though.
She's sensational.
Speaking of support staff, can I listen? I'm not a conspiracy theory guy.
Okay,
but like I am a little bit.
Hey, he said, "Do you love when he like sits up in his seat? You never know when what's coming.
Yeah,
what's up?
So, like, I'm not a conspiracy guy, and like I don't.
Yeah,
think,
what is happening, Coach?
Like I don't think science is real or like the Earth flats or something. Like I'm not that kind of conspiracy theory guy. I am a conspiracy.
Kyrie Ravi Irving.
Yeah, no, I'm not riding that way.
He said he was joking.
Really more of a okay, sure, bud. I'm really more of like a Kyrie Thomas than a Kyrie Irving if I had to pick.
Yes.
But no, but like like little stuff, like I mean, aliens aren't like little stuff, but I definitely believe in aliens.
Oh yeah, me too, 100%.
And kind of just random little things, right? So I've got this theory that someone in the Nebraska football offices is assigned to our radio show.
You think?
Well, okay, so who did we hear? Who did we hear from yesterday? As a public, Dr. Elza and Sean Patton,
yeah,
the GM, right?
Yeah.
Who we've been talking about for the last like week and a half? Support staff.
Yeah.
Elza.
Yeah.
Patton.
Yeah.
Coggins.
Yeah.
I'm just Like coincidence, maybe. Like I don't, because here's the other option is that
it could be everybody else, and then people ask them. It doesn't mean them to us.
Listen, it's a conspiracy theory because you have to make a few leaps, right?
Yeah. You need the foil that Vrzal gave me. It's industrial. It's huge. It's like the biggest.
The tinfoil hat.
Yeah. Oh, the box that it came in. I need 2 hands to pull it out, and then I get a little sheet. He gave it to me as a funny gift because I was mad about the way he wrapped something.
And so he gave you the world's largest foil roll.
Industrial, and he said, "Here, bud." He left it on my porch and said, "Knock yourself out."
That's the most.
That's the most Matt Vrzal thing
like
ever.
The most passive aggressive thing in the world.
I can barely store it.
Well, yeah, where are you gonna put that thing?
It's like in my pantry, and I have to pull it out every flipping time.
Because knowing you're like, well, I'm not buying foil now.
Yeah.
Because I have this enormous thing, even though it's terribly inconvenient.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's my theory for today.
Well, it is.
It's that they're taking
coincidences.
That they're taking cues from us.
Somebody is.
I mean,
I don't think it's Nebraska though. I don't know if they really have time.
I mean, they have a lot of people on staff.
True.
And not saying not everybody's not busy, but there's certain, a lot of my life before I started doing this.
My life like Casey and JoJo?
My life be like, ooh.
No, see.
No, that's Grits.
Yeah. I love Grits, but not that song, though.
Okay, that's fair. But Here We Go. You big Here We Go guy?
Do it. Sing it for me.
No. Well, enough
see, people do that to me all the time, and sometimes I fall for it. Man, I can't sing worth the lick.
And but you like the band Grits?
No, I like the food.
The group? A little rap group Grits?
I don't know that much about them.
Okay, that was fine.
Are they current?
No. Like late 90s, early to mid 2000s.
Bro, it's all a blur.
But they lean a little gospel, so I thought you might have them.
Oh, I know Grits.
Yeah, I was talking about Grits.
That's gospel. That's the whole gospel gangsters Grits. That's that era. Yeah, I know Grits.
That's literally what I was talking about.
Yeah.
That's why I thought you might know them.
Yeah. I was a big gospel gangsters guy. That was my group.
That was like your wheelhouse.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was a big Grits guy. I like Grits.
God, that is deep.
See? You gotta watch out.
Listen, that's so old.
Yeah.
We were playing that in training camp when Minner was my roommate.
Yeah, that's about right. I think I got the
100%.
I think I got the Here We Go album in 98.
I remember that.
That's about right.
Yeah. I thought that was his way, or maybe our way of having guys not visit our room.
Playing gospel gangsters.
We were at Wofford, and I'm just like, I could hear. That's funny. I took a roadie to Wisconsin and played it the whole way there. As my buddy Brian.
I got lost. I don't know where we were going.
Oh, your conspiracy theory.
Yeah, because I've had jobs before I got here where you're working, but you can listen to stuff while you're working. That's how I became familiar with you. Outside of
even though you were fanboying over Nick, which is fine. I mean,
Nick,
better looking dude.
I love
Nick. I want to work with you, but I love Nick first. Yeah,
I never
try that before you hit the altar.
I never said that.
This is pretty much intimated. He's the greatest. Wait, I was like, he was after me. How did you like him more? And then why do you want to work with me?
Well, he played for Creighton, so
I open up some salsa.
You're weird.
Also, you never said open up a can of salsa, explodes all over my chest.
I open up some salsa.
I didn't start eating salsa until 4 years ago.
I almost drove off the road when that happened. I remember where I was when he said that. I was on the interstate.
And I still wouldn't call it salsa.
I almost died. Was it like picante sauce?
I apologize.
It's like a pico de gallo.
I don't know.
This is a verde.
It's a mush.
It's a mush.
Yeah. So it's not chunky.
Oh no, I don't like chunky. I think that is salsa. Picante sauce is chunky.
So the one that we make at our house with fresh vegetables when the whole place stinks to high heaven because they're roasted in the oven is I'm not mad about that at all. That's pico because it has chunks.
Yes.
I like the one that is kind of like in a loose blender thing type texture. So
so you like the chili salsa? You like?
I have never had it.
I know. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
So they had a burger that I had a couple guys do on TikTok.
Is it the queso burger?
It is the smash.
A lot of people do a smash burger.
I didn't know. So, but this is a funny thing, right? Since this is a food show, if
Obviously.
this was a food show, it would be different. With burgers, because you know who's getting killed on my TikTok?
Who?
McDarrell's.
I
don't want to slander them. McDarrell's. You know.
Oh, okay, sure.
Because of the prices, and it's this and it's that, and guys have been sitting at work, and
yeah, people get real mad because
Bro,
like a
this
single
dude-
hash
this
brown
dude-
costs like $3.
hey, this guy was mad. He paid $11 for breakfast at McDonald's, and his bagel, it wasn't like centered. It was like kind of off to the side, and
Yeah.
he's mad because he thinks they shrunk the bagels. It just anyway. He's like, he kept saying $11.60, $11.60 to this day. So I just was, and so what do you call the fast cat? What do you call like the Chili's, the Applebee's, the whatevers?
That's not fast casual, I don't think. 'Cause
That's
fast-
more Chipotle.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I think it's just
Well, whatever that is,
casual.
they're like everybody's got a burger thing now, and
Yeah.
it's like $10.99.
Yeah,
Everybody.
Why wouldn't you do that versus
Everybody.
versus going to?
because
to
sometimes
get
you
cracked.
don't have time to sit down.
Doesn't everybody do the mobile thing?
Oh, but still, like, okay, it's different eating from. I think it's different eating from a to-go container from like a Chili's or a Applebee's or wherever.
Do you ever look at your receipts?
Yeah, sometimes.
Is there a bag tax?
I have no idea. I don't do the pickup that much. Like
The what?
but like you call and pick it up.
Uh-huh.
Like I don't do the pickup that much.
Shoot, I can't function.
So I don't really. I either have it delivered to my house,
Although, real talk,
or I eat there.
your boy's just not eating out a ton.
Yeah,
Not unless I have a gift card.
I do love a good gift card.
Me too.
But like
I'll take it.
we eat out a lot because my wife's a chef and so she's not cooking at home.
But are you vibing with me though?
About what?
With like the $10.99 fast,
I don't have a problem with that.
the fast food burgers.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
And they're like coming up with some good combinations. But I just have a hard time paying for a burger out.
That's fair. I generally don't go burger when I'm out, unless I'm craving one.
Yeah.
But I'm not generally go. Although I will say one of my favorite places, the place over by my house that you like too, has an incredible burger. A couple of them.
That would probably be
Not the place we were talking about yesterday, the one right next to it.
Yeah. So that place would be. There's just off the top. There's probably 5 things I'd get before I got to a burger.
Yeah, but we go there all the time because it's right by our house. And so
Did I tell you how I got turned on to that place? COVID.
Oh yeah, you started getting to go there.
One of the so there's like 3 restaurants that I go to this day because of COVID, and it was because of their takeout containers. Their
takeout containers
food travels exceptionally well,
and a lot of people's doesn't.
Bro, I was Block's another one. And that's how I became good friends with Paul and the owners, because they were so accommodating.
Yeah,
and it was to see that some of these restaurants come out of the back end after all those other ones got wiped out. I was like, I just got to stay local.
Well, and there's like a weird, I don't know if you get this. There's like a weird sense of pride that's like, guys, you made it.
No,
right?
That's not weird,
right? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm not an investor. This doesn't. I mean,
you've seen people's behavior since COVID.
Yeah, they're out of pocket.
Let alone restaurants. Like, people are still trying to recover socially. From
they didn't have to interact with anybody face to face for like 2 years, and they forgot how to act like people.
It's miserable.
That's what we're here for. We're here to help educate, turn you into people again.
So we went from a food show to, hey, where is Doc? We're
self-help.
You know what we're gonna say? We're gonna stop saying what we want to do, and then nobody will know what they should do.
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna be all right.
It's gonna be all right. Doc Sadler.
We could just make up stuff.
We should start making up stuff.
See who buys.
I don't even recognize.
No, because then our digital numbers will tank, and everybody be like, "These guys are always lying."
It's not lying. They're called test balloons.
No big deal.
Pardon?
They're test balloons. You gotta float one out there, see what happens.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, probably.
I think science. We've come a lot further than test balloons, haven't we?
Yeah, I think it's an outdated term, but I think it happened at one point.
Whatever the hell
Seems
it is.
relatively inefficient.
I mean,
I'm just saying.
It depends on what you're going for. I don't think you're talking about balloons like helium. I think you're talking about more like the weather balloons that people are all, like the kind of fancy ones that are good to go. You know what I'm saying?
No,
me either. It's cool.
Some people don't like it.
I know it. Can we go back to something that Dr. Elza said?
What's that?
Which, by the way, now I am tracking with you with the Dr. Patton, with Sean Patton, because I talk about him. We talk about him all the time, and he is so.
I'd never heard his voice before.
He doesn't talk. He's not out in front.
No, that's not what I expected him to sound like.
And I think it's by design. Even his office is way in the back.
Yeah.
Oh, furthest away from everybody.
It seems like
now he's back there with some of the other recruiting guys, but
yeah, it seems like he is one of those guys that needs to not be bothered because he's got too much going on.
Okay, full disclosure. Now that he's out there,
yeah,
he's the guy that I was alluding to that I said should be an economist.
Yeah.
That had the huge board,
and he sort of almost was
that I didn't want to peek at, but I wanted to peek at. So the board, this is so childish, and I'm going to tell this story because
you just like,
yes, I was sweating trying not to look. Yes, you ever done that? So I mean, we're talking. This is so stupid, but it's funny. He's sitting away. He's sitting to the same side as the wall, but you can't sit. You can't sit to his left behind him.
Okay,
you have to be facing him.
Yeah,
but the wall is next to him.
So
you're like trying not to side eye that.
You're like
thing.
eye contact.
You're like, oh my gosh, this is fascinating. I'm in heaven, but it's like.
So you kind of
stick to the facts.
You kind of got to go real casual. So you're like, okay, you kind of lean back, and then you kind of lean over here.
Yeah, he is. So sometimes, like, I'll just talk. Again, the same guy that I said. Sometimes you just want to be around him more because, like, you feel like you just got smarter.
Yeah,
and it's very, very casual.
Yeah.
He's the guy that said sometimes you have to take some self-inventory to see what you did wrong, and it hurts. That's who said that.
That sounds like my 1% theory.
He's, and the thing about it is, he's I wouldn't say mean-spirited, but he's very brief with his words.
He came off less gruff than I was expecting.
He's low-key's funny.
Like I thought he was going to be more intense.
He actually is.
Right, but like in the press conference, he didn't really come off that way.
Yeah, which is cool because I mean he's talking to us, but you should see it. He's a joy to watch.
Yeah.
So's Dr. Elza. I mean,
I also thought it was funny because he kind of first of all, they both sound exactly like the rest of the staff. Like the language and the messaging.
What does common language do?
Yeah,
it builds in,
gets everybody on the same page.
Builds in accountability.
And it was hilarious because you're like, oh, I've heard that before. Oh, I've heard that before too. Oh, I guess everybody just talks this way. Oh, the players talk that way too.
You get checked.
Yeah, we will get more into Dr. Elza and Sean Patton, what they had to say yesterday from the Nebraska support staff. That was made available totally independent of anything that we had to do with anything.
Good. It's good stuff, though. That's pretty cool.
No, I'm glad they were available because we haven't talked about them. I wanted to hear from them. So
yeah, the floodgates open. Let's chat.
That was awesome. We will set up the show.
#fail. You didn't get the first segment in.
Probably. I know. Probably next segment.
Too many balloons.
Hurrdat Sports Radio coming up next.
We will be back. 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 You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Radio.
Whenever there's sort of something new, he kind of throws me at it and says, all right, hey, figure this out. And so that was sort of, coming into NIL, it was how do we help give this some structure? And so when I came here, I first came here as a consultant. I wasn't going to stay. And I got charmed by the city of Lincoln, by the people here. And I got supercharged by the setup at 1890 and their philosophy to sit there and say that every dollar goes to athletes, like every single external penny that they raise goes to athletes. It doesn't go to wallpaper. It doesn't go to anybody's salary or commission or nothing. I think that that's an amazing thing. And I think that's something we should be yelling from the rooftop. And so that charged me up as well.
We're back here on Hurrdat Sports Radio, AM 590 ESPN Omaha, ESPN Tri-Cities. We're live on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, on the Pillar Exterior stage. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. We are getting into a little bit of support staff here. Ironic that he's talking about how much, considering our off-air conversation, how much money from 1890 goes to athletes.
Yeah.
Not everybody does it that way.
No.
Collectives, because technically collectives is a nonprofit, right? It's registered as a
can't.
Okay.
So I went to it's a business luncheon in Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
It was I was invited by Family Lutheran Services.
Mm-hmm.
And it just so happens that Friday, and I talked about it with the gentleman that invited me was Matt Davison.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so it was really cool. I think some people thought it was going to be awkward, but it wasn't. He's a total pro, and he said they originally had. This is what was crazy because remember the NIL rules are changing like literally by the minute.
Yeah, it's very fluid,
right? And so originally when they filed as a 501c3 as a nonprofit.
I thought they had. Yeah,
got their paperwork pretty quick. We're ready to go. Then they came back a couple months later. We're like, no,
can't do that.
Can't designate this entity as nonprofit. So it really kind of put a. You mean this isn't a write-off? No, it's a total giveaway now. Like,
yeah,
you just have to be willing to just have
give
to be
up the
willing
money.
to give it away. But to have him keep on top of the ever-changing world, and the thing that I like about their approach to it is they're going to do it until somebody tells them they can't, whether it goes in, however it changes. Coach Rule said this a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever happens next year, they'll adjust to that.
Mm-hmm.
But for right now, this is what they've got to do.
Yeah.
Right. We want to be here with this team in the Big Ten. We want to be here with this team in the Big Ten. We'll play the game. We'll play any game you want to play. Just tell us the rules.
Yeah.
And that's how I'm even like that with people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you probably more than me. The minute you want to play that way? Fine. So you take it to another level. But like I think that's part of it. And he's a guy, he's 100%. It's so, do you know what my favorite thing about this?
What's that?
This is weird, but it gives me conversation starters because now it's out there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like, because I remember the second time I went there, I was with Adam.
Mm-hmm.
We went up there on a Sunday with Jay, and it was just on a random. This had to be a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe more. I don't. Yeah, maybe more. And I didn't think he was still going to be there. I was like, I was like, because he's telling that it was, hey, just help me get this started.
Yeah.
And I remember Coach Rule. Sean's doing his own thing. It's like Sunday at 4 something in the off season, but they're there, right? Mm-hmm. So I kind of mosey on over, and he's back there, and everybody, Adam and Jay stayed with Coach Rule. We were just talking, and he was like, I love it here. I didn't think I would. Mm-hmm. And he kind of joked, they don't like to spend too much time away from each other. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember Coach Rule said something really interesting. He goes, I didn't get into trouble as a head coach until I lost Patton.
Mm.
And this was so early.
Yeah.
It reminded me of what Sat said about, he goes, every 3 or 4 years, I have to get back close to him.
Yeah.
It's good for me as a person.
Yeah.
And I was like, so there's that angle, then there's this angle. And I'm like, there is definitely legs to this whole camaraderie, common vision thing.
Yeah.
And that's why it never bothered me about the buddy this or the buddy that or the connection, because in big business, which is what this is,
mm-hmm.
you ride with people you trust.
Yes.
And being able to kind of, perhaps my favorite thing is surrounding yourself with people that accentuate your strengths and minimize your weaknesses. Mm-hmm. But you have to be willing to go there, though.
Well,
because it can make you uncomfortable.
Well,
too.
And you have to be aware of what your weaknesses are.
So that's why I like
what Dr. Elza said yesterday. He might be the most self-aware person she's ever seen.
I'm not joking. So
Coach Rule,
yes,
might be the most self-aware. And so, like, if you're self-aware enough to say, like, hey, this is where I'm not good.
Do you know what I used to think it was?
What's that?
I was like, oh my gosh, Carolina, he's paranoid.
Yeah.
Nope.
He's just self-awareness.
Self-aware.
He's like, oh, this is where I messed up. This is where I can get better. This is who can help me do that.
She said it better, but I would say to you and our listeners and stuff over this I'm like, the chess checkers thing, That's his self-awareness. The discernment,
Mhm.
that's self-awareness. He's pitting it against his immediate surroundings and how it vibes with him. That's why he processes information so fast.
If you're more aware than other people, you're going to come off, whether you are or not, and he probably is anyway, but you're going to come off as dramatically smarter than everyone else.
You want to go back to the box in the middle of the floor example?
Yeah. What Dr. Elza say?
How many people would walk over that?
And then what Dr. Elza say, right? She's talking about like, hey, if there's a speck on a table during a recruiting visit, that can throw off the entire recruiting visit, right? She's talking about how if you don't do, when he was talking about it last week with us, and then Dr. Elza is talking about it, and remind me of this. I know you haven't seen Ted Lasso except for on TikTok, but it reminded me of this quote from Ted Lasso where he says, I'm going to find it here. Sorry.
That's okay.
It says the minute we start doing anything the wrong way is the minute we're one day closer to doing everything, or the minute we stop doing everything the right way is we're one day closer to doing everything the wrong way.
So, and I tell funny stories that just give this credence, right?
Mm-hmm.
You come out and there's a pre-practice horn and the clock needs to be right. And it's like, I believe it was, I have to ask Jay Terry again, but I believe it was supposed to be like 8:48.
Mm-hmm. Like a real specific time.
I think it was 8:48.
Yeah.
And it was like, I can't remember what the time was. And Coach Rule, the first thing he said was, hey, where's the sounder? Are we ready?
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like, hey, we're getting ready. We're here. And everybody kind of like went to go do their thing. It's just like, okay, I get it. Like their transition in practice or transition from recovery post practice or just the little stuff like that. It just resonates. I remember we had Dr. Woodman does a lot of stuff with our football team. And I remember 2 years ago, maybe 3, we have what's called Wizard Wednesday with Doc Morbeck.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Woodman was speaking after, and one of our players just kind of got up and addressed the room, the podium, took the podium. He usually always told a joke.
Mm-hmm.
It was Cole Haberman, Kate's little brother. And he like just dressed the room down about the locker room.
Mm.
All right, like just was, and it was basically, and he's a tough guy. He's like, yeah, I'm not doing this again. Figure it out. It's the last time we had to talk about the locker room, right? Mm-hmm. And Dr. Woodman used little things like that in the presentation about doing the little things right. We made light for 4 or 5 years when an AD referenced sloppy travel on a plane or leaving the locker room a mess.
Mm-hmm.
Or, but Bo would say, hey, our travel, like take some pride in it. Like Coach Rule, when he says, we don't even know how to travel yet. When we figure out how to travel, we'll be one step closer to winning. Mm-hmm. Like little things like that, we hear a lot of people say, but just to put the practical application to it is different.
So I've got a question about that because I think there's a fine line between
compelled and obsessed,
understanding the little things matter, and getting lost in the minutia.
Gotcha.
And I want to ask that question to you next here on Hurrdat Sports Radio.
We will be back. will be back. We will be back. We will be back. You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Radio.
I've always, prided myself in being meticulous, and he's 10 times meticulous. And because I always think the little things are what make the big things happen. If there's a speck of dust on a table where we're having a recruiting visit, that could change that recruiting visit just like that. If there is a piece of equipment out and we have guests at practice, it could send the message that we're not at this elite level that we say that we're at. So the little things for him, I don't know that I've ever seen anybody as self-aware as he is and aware of his environment.
We're back here on Hurrdat Sports Radio, AM 590, ESPN Omaha, ESPN Tri-Cities, live on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here on the Pillar Exterior stage. That's Dr. Elza that we've been listening to. Here's the quote that I was thinking of. The day we stop doing the little things the right way means we are one step closer to doing everything the wrong way. That's a Ted Lasso quote. I don't know if it came from somewhere else before that. I got it from Ted Lasso.
I still can't believe I've not one episode. Not one.
You would love that show. There's a lot of swearing, so I don't know how much that bothers you. I know you don't like it in like real life, but you would love it. Like there's parts of me that like there's a lot of Coach Rule in Ted Lasso, or Ted Lasso and Coach Rule, whichever way you want to put it, in the way that he goes about, like, do you know the premise of the show?
No.
It's an American football coach that goes
tackle?
Yeah, like American football.
Okay.
Goes over to England to coach a Premier League team. And it's basically the owner of the team's doing it to get back at her ex-husband who loves the team and whatever, and she's trying to sabotage it. She doesn't realize that Like, this is a dude who, because of the way his philosophy is about team building and culture and all that kind of stuff, he doesn't actually need to know anything about soccer to be good at his job. And I sort of feel like Coach Rule's that way. Like, I think you could put him in just about any situation. And yeah, I get he's a football guy, and that's great. And he knows football better than he knows a lot of other stuff, obviously. But like, from a leadership standpoint, you could convince me you could throw Matt Rule into just about any situation and he'd figure it out.
Yeah, it's interesting how the people perceive his personality too. I was talking to Will Compton. One of the days overlapped, right? And
Yeah.
so we're walking out talking, and Nate Gary was with us, and we were just talking about, they picked my brain, I picked their brain, right?
Mhm.
Your regime, our regime, similarities, whatever. And Will goes, well, there's some expletives in there, but the gist of the gist of it was, and I think I told you this at some point off air. He goes, he just doesn't miss a thing,
Mhm.
right? Whether
That self-awareness that Elza was talking about.
she talked about his environment.
Yeah.
It's and I only know a couple of people like that.
Mhm.
You know, and it's like, it's not about me, but it's about me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
that's a hard line to walk.
You know, I'll say something like, you know, he gives you the impression that, like, what you're saying matters,
Mhm.
and he could take or leave it at the end of the day. It has to be somehow applicable to how he'd like to operate.
Do you know how hard that is?
No, no, but I talk about, like, I give examples of it all the time.
It's so difficult.
It's hard because there's a really, really fine line between being self-absorbed
Mhm.
and paying attention to detail.
Well, between self-absorption
or
and I would
being
call
paranoid and aware.
And I would call it conviction. Like, there's a really fine line between being self-absorbed or being arrogant to a fault and being convicted in what you believe you do. And that fine line is, when you are wrong, it's the self-awareness to know, oh, that's a better idea.
Yeah, I guess I go back to way back when he first got here. We did the sit down in the summer.
Mhm.
And he pretty much let me ask him anything, right? Because there's no there's nothing.
Yeah.
We're just talking.
I mean, a lot like last week, like, we didn't send questions to him.
And it's like, and he probably prefer that.
Yeah.
But, you know, I said, how do you not, like, every job is different, but you've had some success in rebuilds. How do you not get to be plug and play-ish? Right.
Like, oh, hey, this is the system. This is what we do.
He's like, well, number one, you have to understand where you are and what the job entails.
And
I just was like, duh. But when he said it, I didn't think of it in the terms in which he gave the rest of the answer. He said, then you have to figure out where it's applicable, what my skill set is, and then I have to assess what I need. So I was like,
what does that sound like? It sounds almost exactly talking about common language.
This is what he said, right?
No, but I mean, it sounds almost exactly what we heard from Sean Patton yesterday when he's talking about chaos there, and he's like, hey, you need to know your starting point, you need to know where you're going, and you need to know the conditions in between. Right?
That's good. That's a.
Is that not exactly?
Yeah.
I mean,
100%.
That's almost the exact same thing, right?
Yeah.
And so the common language thing is 100% real. The attention to detail stuff is 100% real.
That's eerie,
right?
Because number one, I didn't really go into depth about that particular question.
Yeah.
Or his response when we were sitting there in the summer, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not even sure that made part of the clip because we were kind of setting up. We were waiting outside, and that was his exact answer. And I didn't really think about
the connection to what Patton said yesterday.
No, because of course I don't know that I'm a talker. You know what I mean?
Right?
Like,
yeah.
But that's what he. But I just remember that's what he said, and you start to stack it now with kind of what you see. I think that's why kind of what he does comes across as demanding. And it doesn't come across. It is demanding.
Yeah.
But it's the conditions in between that they're navigating.
Yeah. Well, and if it's demanding, but you trust the person demanding it of you, it's different than if it's demanding and you're working for a tyrant or somebody who doesn't care about you.
Why would Coach Coop want to stay here for less money?
Why would I mean, Dr. Elza talked about it when we talked to her last year. She talked about it again yesterday, where she's like, yeah, I just knew at some point I was going to work for that man, and he was about the only person I'd leave the job I had for, right? There was a compelling nature about Coach Rule that led Dr. Elza to be like, okay, I've got this job that I love in Texas, but I got to go. I can't. I think she literally said on the air, I couldn't turn him down twice after she turned him down to go to Carolina, right? And she said part of that had to do with the University of Nebraska and her respect for this place. But that's a real thing. When somebody like that is demanding of you, it comes off way different than if it's somebody that you don't love and respect, right?
100%.
And so we're talking about fine lines here between arrogance and conviction. We're talking between self-absorption and self-awareness. But I've been thinking a lot about, since we talked to Coach Rule last week, about the fine line between attention to detail and getting lost in the minutia of it, right? Because that can be really easy, I think. And I don't know the answer here. How do you prevent that from happening? Because if you do care about every speck of dust on a table during a recruiting visit, and you do care about every box in the hallway, like, how do you not get lost majoring in the minors?
I know it's I think real time it's definitely a skill, right? But I've worked for some, and it's, like, just having this conversation, it's always kind of the higher level thinkers that I apply this to, right? So I think of guys like, Jay was like that Noddle, right? And it was kind of intimidating at first, to a degree. Coach Frank's a lot like that, right? You'll hear me talk about off air, like this demeanor where it's like, is he sizing me up? Is this good enough? Coach Rule will do this. He's kind of studying. Is he surveying? Is this one little thing wrong? Coach Samanji said something the other day. We were talking to a couple of players. This is just quiet. And then we had a meeting at night. And he was talking to the players, and he said, Coach Benning said something this morning as I was taking notes. Yes, I take notes on Coach. It freaked me out.
Yeah.
Right. But that's when successful people do things for a long time, they develop those kinds.
Yeah, they're like systems.
They develop those kinds of traits.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's just weird. But I've said that about all the aforementioned. But they all have these things that are in common, where they're highly productive when you give them time. So it clearly what they're doing works. I don't know how they keep from being consumed by it, because some of those habits that I try to exude can kind of come across as OCD.
Sure, yeah, like like obsessive, right?
But I go back to that, like, commitment continuum that he talked about way last year, about how you need to get to the point where you feel compelled without being obsessed, because the obsession can be unhealthy.
Yeah, it's counterproductive
if it's not managed.
So here's what is,
and when we kind of use the Casey Thompson deal, where I was like, needs to know the number of reps, what the situation is, at what point, or how many numbers of throws. Like, he's committed, but the obsession gets you distracted from
the end goal.
The end goal is.
So is it as simple as never losing sight of the end goal?
Well, I think you have to constantly restate what it is.
So thinking back to some of the things that Coach Rule says, is that how he's
I think that's any successful entity, right? Is to revisit the end game.
Is that how he's able to continue talking about, like, hey, we want to win at the highest level, we want to win a national championship, and still say, hey, we haven't earned the right to play Minnesota yet?
Yeah.
Like, is that a real life example of it?
Well, because, and what am I always captivated by? How do you always remind us that you put the ball on the ground and move forward, or that you're 5-7 and move forward? And I think a lot of it has to do with what you're doing in the meantime of what the climate is, right? Where Coach Patton said the chaos theory. What are the conditions that are affecting getting us there, and are you addressing those out loud?
Coming up next, we're going to talk some college baseball with Kyle Peterson of ESPN.
We will be back. We will be back. We will be back. We will be back. You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Radio.
Kicking off hour number 2 here on Hurrdat Sports Radio, AM 590, ESPN Omaha, ESPN Tri-Cities. We're live on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. That's DB. I'm Ravi, Lulla. And this is your last weekend to get out to Lawrence and Gardens. Get out and, well, I mean, you can still go after this, but you're going to miss the Brickosaurs if you go after the 12th. That's Sunday. That's Mother's Day. Take mom out for a nice little treat. Take the whole family. Go out and see the Brick Live Brickosaurs exhibit at Lawrence and Gardens. Over 30 dinosaur sculptures made out of 1.5 million, still seems low, bricks. I would have guessed, I mean, honestly, I would have guessed 5. I'd have guessed 5 million.
Apparently I'm bad with numbers.
I know I'm bad with numbers. Don't tell my boss that. But make sure you get to lawrenceandgardens.org because this exhibit, much like the dinosaurs, will go extinct on May 12th. That's lawrenceandgardens.org. All right, let's get to our guy Kyle Peterson from ESPN. Talk a little college baseball. KP, what's going on?
Good morning, gents. How are you?
Oh, there's the hey, good morning. I feel like now I have to get all professional. Okay, I can't. It's your voice, KP. Do you talk for a living? That's pretty good.
You got the wrong guy if you want to be professional. I'll tell you that.
So how you been, man?
Called the wrong dude.
Well, I know I'm gonna be entertained, so that's a good thing, man. How you been?
Life's good. Fun day. We got state soccer at noon.
Yeah.
Downtown, which is a blast, and then go to Wake Forest tonight. I got Wake and Clemson this weekend. So
and Clemson is a coming. Real quick, state soccer, is that one of the sneakier great scene sets? Everybody talks about state wrestling, and they do that well, and football gets a ton of pub, but soccer quietly, man, that's a nice little tucked venue, and it's pretty good.
It's awesome. And I didn't know anything about soccer until my daughter started playing, and I still don't know much. I just yell off sides, and I feel like at some point I'm going to be right. But
it's 50-50 these days. It's dicey.
Yeah.
Just yell referee anytime somebody touches anybody. You'll be fine.
Just yell off sides. It's so cool. I mean, that setting is really cool.
Yeah.
You're downtown. The backdrop's cool. They let everybody out of school. My daughter goes to Marion. They won in a shootout the other day, and all the girls ran behind the goal for the shootout. And it's a really cool event. And 5 years ago, I never thought I'd say that about soccer. But I mean, that being said, I went to the Union game the other night, Wednesday night against Sporting, and that was awesome. Like, this is actually turning into a pretty good soccer town, and I'm not sure what I'm turning into right now.
Well, you've had to go through a couple transitions, right? Little hoops, little baseball, a lot of golf. Now it's like, you're in the soccer world too. It's like, isn't this how you drew it up?
Yeah. This is pretty much it. Yeah, we'll see what comes next. We get into dance, and that's probably when I check out. But for now, we're okay.
Not a baseball player to be found among the bunch, huh?
No, they won't even watch it with me.
That's tough. I apologize, KP. That's a little tough. Speaking of watching, though, you said you're going to be out at Clemson, Wake Forest this weekend. That's a really good matchup of a couple really good teams. Out of the teams you've seen so far this year, who have you been most impressed with?
A&M.
Yeah.
And I saw them on a bad weekend, and that's maybe why I'm so impressed. They kicked it all around. Still had a chance to sweep LSU. They got beat, I think, 6-4 each of the first 2 days, and then won game 3. But I think A&M is, aside from that weekend, they've been really good defensively. Offensively, it's a joke. I mean, the top to bottom, they're, I would say, as good as anybody. There's probably 4 or 5 offenses you would point at, but they're definitely one of them. I think they pitch it enough. It's not Arkansas staff. Arkansas staff is incredible. A&M doesn't have that, but I think given their offense, they've got enough, and they throw a ton of strikes. So if I had to pick one, I'd probably pick A&M, but I would say there's 6 that you can throw together and say any one of the 6, I think you could make an argument for.
So this one gets interesting. I didn't even know you were going to be at Wake Clemson, but it kind of fits the discussion, right? Because Clemson's playing well. They're up in D1 rankings polls after A&M's weekend, and here comes Wake Forest again. I don't know how many they've got in a row, maybe 11 or 12. I know they're on a heater a little bit. But what are you looking forward as Wake appears to be rounding into form? You know what you're going to get from Seaver and Jake, but staff's starting to settle down too.
Yeah, so I think the thing with Wake, I had them probably a month and a half ago against Virginia, and their bullpen was not healthy. I mean, they had, I think, 3 guys at that point that were dudes that were out. They got them all back. They lost Nick Kurtz for 2 weeks with kind of a funky shoulder deal, but now he's good. And I think Wake is now the team that everybody thought they would be at the beginning of the year. Clemson is too. I mean,
Six straight.
Clemson's
I apologize.
Really good.
Six straight.
Yeah, but Damon, they were 4-8.
I know. That's
at one point.
How about that start? I was like, wait, what is going on?
But they're right now, and they can absolutely play themselves into a host. I think they can play themselves into a top 8. I don't know they need to, but ballpark effect helps them. They play. I mean, most teams play really well at home, but Wake plays very well at home. So if they can get to the national seed component, it's big. And obviously this weekend's huge. I mean, you're playing a top 5 team. Clemson is a legitimate, like if you pick those 6, for me, Clemson's in that 6. So it's a weekend to turn some heads, honestly, on both sides, because it's 2 of the best teams in the country.
Talking with Kyle Peterson of ESPN covering college baseball. Kyle, kind of a more general question from me here before I get into a little bit of the nitty gritty. You know, you see teams like Indiana State and East Carolina and UC Santa Barbara and Dallas Baptist and all these teams that you don't really see at the top of any other of the major college sports, right? Is that good for college baseball that there's sort of this equal opportunity, no matter who you are and where you're from, to be competitive at the highest levels?
It's kind of contrary to the baseball economics, isn't it, too, with the scholarship distribution?
Yeah, it's funny. This was years ago when Rick Vanderhook was the head coach at Fullerton, and we were talking about expanding scholarships, and this is pre-NIL. And he looked at me, he's like, I don't want scholarships expanded. I'm at Fullerton. Like 11.7 that's what we can fund. That's it. And if we go beyond it, everybody else has an advantage. And obviously the world has changed since then. But to your question of those teams, yeah, I mean, look historically at some of the teams that have won it, that have been here: Fullerton, Rice, Coastal. Like, we're not talking about Fullerton, Rice, and Coastal in any other sport. But in for whatever reason in baseball, and it's not annual. I mean, Fullerton's a very different team than they used to be. Rice is a very different team than they used to be. But you can make a run. And I think that athletic departments have seen that across the country, to where I would say the financial input that you have to do to potentially get to that point is very different than football and basketball. Now, the eyes are different too, but I think it's great. I mean, I love those types of teams that you named that legitimately have a chance. East Carolina is another one. East Carolina hasn't been here. East Carolina is going to get here. Dallas Baptist is going to get here. Duke is going to get here at some point. I would say in the next 5 years, each of those 3 is going to have a real run at it. And I think it makes our sport better.
KP, let me ask you something. And it's not just because I'm sitting next to a Seminole honk, but so Florida State kind of has recovered from a couple of Martins, right? And Link appears to have them back to kind of how we think about FSU. When you look at and it's maybe turnaround's too strong a word. I'm not sure what word you would use, but their resurgence, I guess, level of surprise that they were able to turn around so quick, or because it's FSU, Link made sense?
I would say yes and yes. Honestly, I think Link is really good. And, you know, I mean, you talk about tough places to win. Like, Notre Dame's not an easy place to win. And I had their super when they beat Tennessee. And, I mean, hell, I didn't think the Cubs could beat Tennessee that year. And they went in and beat them. And so to do that and convince your guys that you can do it, now it's a little bit different. Like, he did, I mean, the second half of last year, they were bad.
Mm-hmm.
And
really bad.
The first half, they weren't that bad. Second half, they were bad. But they actually had some guys, and those guys came back. And then they went and got a few more guys. And that combination, and I think Link being there a full year and guys buying in, like they're good, man. They're real good. I've had them twice this year, and I think that you got to have two real starters. And they've got two real starters. And then you got to have enough pieces in the bullpen. You don't need 9. You need like 3 or 4 that you can go to that are going to throw you strikes and have a chance. They have that. They've got some thump. They defend enough. And I think that there's a link factor that is real. And this doesn't need to be the same way all over the place. But I really like head coaches that played there, man. I think there's a little something different to it, especially that played there when they were really good. And he brings a lot to that place.
All right, Kyle, you mentioned this earlier, and so I'm going to put you on the spot here. You said there was about 6 teams, including Texas A&M, that you thought could do, I don't remember how you phrase it, do some real damage, win a national championship. I got to know who the other 5 are.
Arkansas for sure, Tennessee. Wake doesn't show up in the top 6 right now, but I would definitely put them there. Clemson. And I would honestly, this is not patronage, I would say Florida State. I think those 6, if you got to go outside of it, like the West is different this year.
Mm-hmm.
Big 12's a funky league. I think Oklahoma could surprise. They're on a heater right now. We're going to have somebody come out of nowhere. Oregon State probably belongs in that discussion. It's just hard. The teams that played them that aren't out West, everybody out West says Oregon State's really good. The teams that played them that aren't out West all say Oregon State's really good. Mm-hmm. And I think by the time we look up, and hell, I mean, based on your comment just a minute ago, like Oregon State's going to be one of those teams. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, they don't have a conference next year. So
yeah,
it would. I think there's a real chance that they could show up here again. It's the type of club that can win the whole thing.
So I got to give some context to the Florida State thing because DB always gives me a hard time here. But like I grew up going to College World Series and watching like Marshall McDougal just crush home runs with the unregulated bats. So like, you know, there's like Eddie Martinez Esteve and a Matt Diaz and those guys. And so, you know, and the Drew brothers, like, you know, so it's really easy to get influenced by different teams when you grow up as an Omaha kid and you get out to the CWS all the time. Like, was there, like being an Omaha guy, like, was there some of those teams that you kind of had this attraction to that you never would have had any exposure to if for any other reason?
Yeah, it was Stanford.
No, that makes sense.
Paul Carey hit a home run. When I was at the game when Paul Carey hit the home run, and I didn't know where Stanford was. I had no idea. Mm. And they all signed my program. Mm. And I think my parents still have it. But the cool thing is, like, there's a lot of kids here that grew up with that whatever it was. I think, Damon, we've probably talked about this before, but I remember when we were growing up, like, when the field was set, everybody'd run to Westroads, and you'd go to that hat place, whatever the hell it was, and you had to get the hat, like whatever it was. Yeah. Wow. And the one year Citadel made it, and you had to get the Citadel hat.
Oh,
but
yeah.
You picked a team, whatever your team was, and I think that's happened to a lot of kids. I don't think I'm the only one. So
Caleb has an Indiana baseball hat. I mean, just go figure.
Yeah,
I've still got a Raging Cajuns hat.
Yeah, and it's usually not LSU. Sometimes it is, which is cool. But most of the time it's that team, like when Stony Brook made it.
Yep.
Everybody had to have the Stony Brook gear and Coastal and everything else. I don't know. I'm super biased, but I think the event is so cool because of that. And it's better when, I mean, selfishly, not 8 of those are here, because then our ratings are going to suck. But if we get 1 or 2,
you need one.
Then
you need one.
It's awesome. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's kind of funny because I have your Stanford story. I have almost the exact same story about Florida State, but my fastball topped out at about 83. So that might have been a little difference between how yours ended and how mine ended.
Kyle, better than mine right now.
Well, yeah, mine right now is not. That was about 20 years ago.
Kyle, you referenced them, and injuries aside, did you see this LSU team? And I get what they just did to A&M, right? That was a little eye-opening, taking 2 out of 3. But man, just 9-15 in the conference. Did you see this coming at all?
I mean, everybody looks at Skeens and Cruz, and they lost Skeens and Cruz. They did. And, I mean, they're 2 generational guys in college baseball. They also lost some real players. Like Trey Morgan was an outstealer at first base. And he hit the middle of the lineup and was a damn good hitter, but defensively was as good a first baseman as there was in college baseball. They had 2 seniors that were players. At the top programs as much, you don't necessarily see seniors hitting in the middle of the lineup. They did that, but they were also leaders. And so it wasn't just Skeens and Cruz. It was other guys they lost that weren't there. I mean, I had him in that A&M series. I think Josh Peterson was the only guy in the lineup that started game 3 of the finals.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big turnover. I mean, I don't care what it says on the front of your jersey. If you're turning 8 of the 9 over and your 2 top pitchers, that ain't easy, especially in that league. So I think it's realistic to see that they would struggle. But watching LSU, if they get in, and it's an if now, but if they get in, you don't want them in your regional.
Can I use Vitello and pressure in the same sentence? I mean, here they are again, uber talented, and a lot of people's number ones now. Is there pressure now?
Yeah, but I mean, I think there always is there since Tony got him going. I mean, the cool thing, I mean, listen, we saw this in Nebraska years ago. Like when they got going, everybody showed up. And it was an event, and the environment was different than a lot of other places. Tennessee's environment is different than a lot of other places right now. Kentucky's environment is different than a lot of other places. Kentucky built a $60 million baseball stadium, and they'd never been to Omaha.
Yep.
Now they could get to Omaha. I mean, they played in the Super last year. I mean, D1 came out with their projections the other day. Kentucky was the 1 seed overall, like not a 1 seed, the 1 seed. So it can change, but I think at Tennessee, yeah, there's plenty of pressure. But I don't know who the hell said it, but pressure is in fact a privilege. Like that means it matters.
What's for you, before we let you go, outside of Oregon State, is there another team west of the Rockies that you think can get to where they need to be to make a run in Omaha? Is it Irvine probably?
Yeah, and Santa Barbara. I think those 2. I am every night on my knees praying that Santa Barbara has a regional so I can go there. So I hope they get hot over the next 2 weeks because I'm going. But I would say either one of those 2, I think, on the West. And I was listening before I came on. Damon, go watch Ted Lasso.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
So there's 2. That's the second person that I really, really like. Even my old head coach, he said the same thing, and he doesn't strike me as a Ted Lasso guy, and he said it's incredible.
Yeah, it's cool. I don't know. There's something about it that, I mean, the guy's a hell of an actor, but the story component, the way that it comes about, the fact that it's sports, but it just kind of happens to be sports. I think you'd enjoy it. It's good.
Man, my man.
All right, KP, we appreciate it, and hopefully we'll run into you here in, I guess we're just about a month away.
Now you're going to have me cheering for Santa Barbara for you.
Yeah, come see me in Santa Barbara. Let's do that.
One of these days, he's going to be rooting for the Hawaii, just be like, get that regional, baby. Let's go.
Come on, Rainbows.
You got it. I'm incredibly selfish, but I'm okay with it.
Kyle, we appreciate it. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, KP.
Bye, guys.
That's Kyle Peterson of ESPN. I love it. I love the, I like the honesty there, right? It's like, hey, I'm rooting, not rooting for an Oregon State. I'm rooting for a Santa Barbara.
He does not. That is that's the second surprise. Is that right?
Surprise.
So I didn't even know Coach Frank watched television.
Yeah.
Outside of
I've only talked to him twice, but he seems like a guy that would love that show.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm around him, and I wouldn't have guessed that.
That's because you haven't seen the show.
Oh, good point.
Yeah.
Good point. He strikes me as the type of person that would think TV is a waste of time if it's not the Steelers.
So I'll just.
You were only around him a little bit.
Yeah, I've only been around for a couple minutes, a couple times.
Did you overlap much at my house?
A little bit.
Yeah,
just a little bit. Yeah, and then I talked to him.
He's trying to bully you.
Everybody tries to bully me. I don't care. It's really hard to bully somebody who just doesn't give a rip.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to do. Like you were talking about how your boy was getting bullied by a couple of your ex-teammates about what he was drinking.
Oh, Mr. Whiteclaw?
Yeah.
Or High Noon?
And who came down with a High Noon and didn't give a rip? This guy.
Yeah, T-Freeze is merciless.
Don't care. I'm going to drink what I like to drink. You know what tastes good? Fruity drinks.
Wow.
Delicious.
Hey, Shane, do you feel validated over there, bud?
Delicious.
Shane's like, go, Ravi, go, Ravi, go.
No, I'm just thinking of the best T-phrase line ever. Ain't nobody that can do it like you can, 2-1.
No, that's Coach Gill.
Oh, that's Coach Gill?
Yeah.
Oh.
The other black quarterback.
Oh.
See the other black guy, Shana? I know you only know 3 of them, and one of them sitting here. But
ain't nothing to it the way you do it, 2-1.
Next time it's gonna be like, was that Tommy Armstrong or?
Would you see the beef photo out there? And Shane was like, Shane was like, oh, is this T-Phrase?
Is that Turner?
If we weren't on a network right now, we'd be so long in the break. I'd be hitting commercials. Stop, set, go, get us out of this.
You mad?
You mad? You seem mad.
You're gonna be all right.
I am bad, and they know I'm bad.
No, not bad. Mad.
I cannot stop
mad.
Peaky Blinders to start.
No, finish Peaky Blinders.
I don't have that type of capacity.
I mean, listen,
and we're so thick in the sports.
So you're gonna be man. You got time.
I know, off-brand hours too.
You got time.
Yeah.
You don't sleep ever, so
yeah,
just finish Peaky Blinders.
It's been exceptionally poor too lately, and I went to bed last night, man. So
finish Peaky Blinders and then watch Ted Lasso. So here's the thing about Ted Lasso. I'll tell you and this seems dumb about a television show, but I'm being totally honest.
Just going to preface this.
Yeah, I know it sounds stupid. After watching, especially the first season, because I binged the first season because it looked dumb to me. I was like, I don't want to watch this. This seems stupid. And then I finally did because it was COVID and I didn't have anything else to do. And I was like, fine, whatever. And enough people had told me that it was good. By the time I watched the end of that first season, I wanted to be a better person because of the television show. Like, honest to God.
Huh. How many episodes in the season?
It's like the first season's either 8 or 10 and the last 2 are 12. So it's pretty quick. It goes. And they're
12 is a lot.
Come on. It's like you're talking about 30, 32 total episodes.
All right.
And a lot of them are like 30 minutes. So they go quick. Some of them are a little bit longer, but it goes quick. You'll plow through that thing and it's worth it. I promise. Coming up next, we'll talk about something. Probably not television, but maybe. Who knows? That's DBM Ravi with Hurrdat Sports Radio.
We will be back. 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 You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Radio.
You know, when you're in a position as a state athletic director, especially the state of Texas, I mean, that's a blessing in itself. But work is work. And I signed on for this, and, you know, there probably wouldn't be too many people that I'd go and work for and leave those Texas boundaries. And there probably wasn't another university that I probably would have had in my line of sight. You know, when people on our staff, you know, say that they're truly Nebraska fans, you know, it's good. And it's, you know, everywhere you go, you know I stayed athletic director there, and you just, you know, I'm behind the scenes here, and I'm perfectly okay with it. But no matter who you are, or what you do, when you change a job, you have to re-earn it. And that's been my mentality the whole way, is just to get in here, put my head down, and help make this program better.
Halfway through the show here on Hurrdat Sports Radio, AM 590, ESPN Omaha, ESPN Tri-Cities. We're live on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here on the Pillar Exterior stage. And I got to tell you, it's time to go to provolleyball.com and get your tickets for the PVF Championships right here in Omaha. Semifinals are on Wednesday. The finals are on Saturday. Omaha is locked in to play on Wednesday. They will be playing in the PVF Championship. Make sure you go out and support your professional volleyball franchise right here in Omaha. They got a win in their last home match of the season last night. Got a nice little clean sweep of Columbus. Make sure you go out and support them as they try and become the inaugural champion in the Pro Volleyball Federation. That's provolleyball.com to get tickets. You got single session or all session tickets available at provolleyball.com. Calling us in, one of my favorite callers, mostly because of the T-shirts that he's got for his kids. Asian Wyatt on the Hurrdat hotline. Wyatt, what's going on, buddy?
First of all, thank you for giving me the moniker Asian Wyatt. Appreciate that.
Listen, Shane puts it on the thing every time, except for he spelled it wrong. He spelled it Asayan Wyatt. There's an extra A in there, and that's like I don't know what's happening.
And there's
there.
2 S's in Lasso too, right?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, you can go AZN. That'd work also.
Is that like Asian season, like SZN, AZN, SZN, Asian
Or
season?
Notorious. One of those.
Oh. Oh, what's up, buddy?
Anyway, Damon, yeah, you probably like Ted. I mean, because at its core too, it's a Ravi, you tell me if I'm wrong on this too, that it's a show about a father and son issues and relationships as well.
Really?
Amongst a lot of characters. So it's about And I know you're about fatherhood and things along those lines, and it's a good show about that.
And I'm not about fatherhood, and I still like it.
Wyatt, are you driving? Where are the Twin Terrors?
No, I'm at work now.
Oh, okay.
So they're at home.
That's actually quiet.
His only escape from the tough hangs.
Hey, before we get to Dr. Elsa, how are the chickens?
Yeah. Well, from our original flock, we just have one that's left, but since gotten a few. I think we got like 11 in the basement right now.
Oh,
so they're ready to come outside.
Wyatt. Are you serious?
It's not my choice, man.
You have 11 chickens in your house?
Yeah, right now in the basement. So
they're in the house, like in the house.
Oh my goodness!
In the basement.
I mean, the basement's part of the house, right? Like it's not an external situation.
No, not right. Once they're a little bit older, then they'll be ready to go outside.
Oh, so are they in like one of the little containers with like the heat lamps, like they're the little guys?
Well, they're a little big out. They're like adolescent right now. They still have a heat lamp. They're in just like in the unfinished part of the basement right now.
I have a question. This is going to sound ridiculous. Do you name your chickens?
The original flock, they don't have names. The new ones haven't been named yet. We're trying to let the oldest name them, but right now she just wants to name all of them Chickaletta. So
what do you do with the chickens?
Sip named his chickens, so I just was curious. But he only had like 4 or 5.
Are you like eating them or using for eggs?
No,
what are you doing with the chickens?
They don't eat chicken.
Oh no, I eat chicken, but we don't.
You don't eat the chickens.
Your wife doesn't though, right?
Chicken.
Okay.
No, she doesn't eat chicken at all. Once we got chicken, she's like, I got too close to them. I can't. So
I don't understand, but
I don't know.
Well, I would never eat shark. So
you have a pet shark?
Oh, you got jokes.
No, just a strange.
Listen, I wish I did though.
Just a strange affinity for killing machines.
Great whites aren't good in captivity, just for the record.
Yeah, you need a little baby tiger or something, a little tiger shark. What do you got on? What do you got on Dr. Elsa, Wyatt?
Oh, okay. No, I just say that she continues to impress because I remember when Damon, I think when it was you and Andrew had her on and interviewed her, and that was the first time I heard her, and it was like, is it weird that right now, and I love my job, but do I want to quit my job and go work for her because I feel like she's gonna make me a better person?
Yeah,
it was that impressive.
It's just weird, Wyatt. I hate to. I don't know. I guess I'm drinking whatever's being served, but I think I trust myself that I've been around long enough to be able to discern between just a good talker and somebody that's actually about it. And I'm with you. Like, I just feel like you have to function at a high level in that environment. And I think you'd be better for it. Like, I just, it's in all facets, support staff, recruiting, like everybody's game is elevated.
I almost feel like, because I know that, I mean, to an extent, the football program has an influence on the state. And I, firmly believe that when Coach Osborne was head coach, that his personality had an influence on the personality of the state.
Yep.
And I feel like this staff could have an influence on their work ethic on the state.
So you're vibing with me that if he ever wins at a high level, it would be. I use the word dangerous, but that's that has a negative connotation. But it would be because he's such a good orator. Like he would just be speaking things into existence, and we'd be like, "Oh yeah, what he said, right?" Like I could totally see that being the case.
It would be the spark for the fuel that's there.
All right, buddy. Don't work too hard. I have a feeling you're going to tell me you won't, but don't anyway.
I do my job well.
No, I do have one more question. Do we have any good restaurants out here? What are you getting out much yet?
Yeah.
What do we got?
Let's see here. Well, I just yesterday I went up to Big Mama's, and now I've been there for a little while at their new location up on at the Highlander.
Yeah.
Just south of 30th Lake, and it was really good. There's what did we? You catch me off guard right now, but there's a lot of good. Oh, there's that food truck off of 90th and Blondo that has quickly turned into one of my favorites, called New York Halal Food Truck. It's so good.
90th and Blondo on the Romeo side, or
where the Goodies park, where there used to be the Goodies
gas station. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, what is that Razzie's building now?
I don't know.
Is it anything yet? I got it. My mom would know. That's right in our old stomping grounds.
I know it's not a Razzie's. I know they're not. They're like not coming back. But that food truck is amazing. It's so good.
All right, I'm on it. My mom's favorite popcorn place is in that.
The Husker Land?
Oh yeah.
She's got a favorite popcorn place?
Yes.
Well.
All right. Well, Wyatt, I'm proud of you for being over on 30th and Lake too. That's why I love you.
Hey, I work in North and South Omaha.
That's
I get around a lot.
All right, my man. Be safe.
All right, you too.
All right, buddy.
That's
he's a great dude.
We love our guy Wyatt.
He's just a great dude.
I appreciate the self-awareness on the kids too. Tough hang.
It was pink too.
That's the best part. I love that.
So
we still need to print those shirts for Hurrdat. We haven't done that yet.
There's something to that, an infectious personality like that.
Oh yeah. Well, and you're right. And I don't know another word besides dangerous, because like you said, dangerous has a negative connotation. But if you've got somebody with that personality type and the results to back it up, like watch out, because that thing is going to be highly contagious and infectious.
In 50 years, probably really only like 44, since that's kind of paying attention to what people said. I don't know if I've ever heard anybody quite explain Coach Osborne's personality. I get the values, right? Like because people still, depending on what side of the ledger you're on, get mad or are pleased about like his
influence
ideology
or supposed or perceived influence. I don't know if it's real or not. Maybe
but
it is.
I wondered, like, real time, like, are we like Coach Osborne, like as a state?
I think there's some overlap, but
it's interesting how you said it, because I could kind of see it.
I mean, do you think there'd be beer in the stadium if Coach Osborne was a fan?
No, good point.
Do you think we would have gotten sports gambling earlier if Coach Osborne was a fan?
And I don't mean just the negatives.
No, but I'm
or
not,
the perceived negatives.
Positive, negative, however you feel about it.
Because Wyatt talked about work ethic.
Yeah, right. or like being reserved.
If Coach Rule starts winning, we're not going to want to be lazy.
I mean,
hey man, get off your rear end and go impact somebody's life, okay?
I wouldn't classify most Nebraskans as lazy anyway. But maybe it takes a little bit of a life of its own. We'll be back with more Hurrdat Sports Radio.
We will be back. We will be back. We will be back. We will be back. You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Radio.
It was a Boston Sea Party, as in Cavaliers. 118-94, as the Cavaliers will take the shot clock violation. That leaves 3.6 to go. The Cavaliers have tied this series at one game apiece. Cavs win 118-94.
Wrapping up hour number 2 here on Hurrdat Sports Radio, AM 590, ESPN Omaha, ESPN Tri-Cities. We're live on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill on the Pillar Exterior Stage. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla, and we are reminding you about our friends over at Team Jack Foundation. TeamJackFoundation.org is where you can find all the information you need to get involved with this incredible organization, so closely tied to the Nebraska football program that we know and love. They have one very simple but by no means easy goal, and that is to find better treatments for childhood brain cancer and one day a cure. You can donate directly on the website, or you can figure out what events are going on, and you can figure out what projects they are helping to fund with the over $12 million and counting that they've raised to date for childhood brain cancer research. That's all available at teamjackfoundation.org. All right, DB.
All right, Ravi.
Hey, what are we doing?
You just said my name, so I said yours. I just felt like
not like
you're just championing the Celtic. You and
not
Shane
like
on
a little
the
Destiny's
Celtics.
Child, like say my name, say my no.
No, I'm not a
Destiny's Child guy.
No, although I do.
Are you a Beyonce guy?
I was. I'm out. At the time, my favorite was Kelly.
I've never been a huge Beyonce guy.
Yeah, you and Severe.
To me, it's like it's the music. I don't understand the infatuation with her music. Like it's okay, it's fine.
Queen Bee, baby.
I mean, listen, I know I'm gonna have like the Hive after me, but the music's only okay.
Yeah,
Kelly. You know what? I'll take it.
I don't even know who that is. Who was that?
That's Avery. But I'm just saying, I'll take Beyonce. That's me. That she's agreeing with me. I'll take Beyonce.
Oh, you're using Avery to speak on your behalf.
Yes.
If he has one of those voices that's getting, it's like it's a good radio voice. One more time, Shane.
You know what? I'll take it.
That's a good radio. I thought it was a play-by-play person.
Me too. That's exactly.
That's why I couldn't figure out.
That's what I thought.
I was like, who is that?
I love it.
Okay. Probably should have her on more.
Well,
it's almost football season.
I'll say it's gonna be football
Listen here,
season.
guys.
We'll have her up. It's funny. So I sat next to her during the spring game, and she is like locked in.
Listen, who you tell?
Thank you.
Every time I was like trying to like comment to her or tell her about something, she like had to take a minute, like finish what she was locked in on.
She does not mess around.
No, she's not playing. She's
even like
pro.
on the road and traveling and stuff. Like we'll just compare notes, and
I do love Boulder.
Sometimes she'll ask questions like during the broadcast or get confirmation or hey, when he said that, like she is
because she's listening to the broadcast.
Yes, she is
she's
very good.
Which I may have to start doing. I like that. I like that move of listening to the broadcast while you're.
Yeah.
I may not hear from you enough, but no.
It's beautiful. It's awesome.
That's right. She had to be tickled this week with soccer.
Oh yeah. So she was at Union Omaha. I mean, a lot of the crew, the Hurrdat crew was at Union Omaha this week. She was out at Supernovas last night with a bunch of the crew also. I mean, it was.
You didn't tell me. You should have let me know that. I didn't realize Kyle has so much snark to his game.
Kyle Byers?
Yeah, our Kyle.
Our Kyle? Yeah.
Kyle's kind of sneaky quick.
He's low key. Like you wouldn't guess it, but he stays on top of it. He's a cool dude. Also, incredible what he does.
Oh, dude.
The videos and stuff that he made.
So so you know what's funny? This is another thing that I like about our team. And I think a lot of it is obviously I have to look at the leadership. But so I was
remember the Titans' attitude reflect leadership, Captain?
Well, I was giving Avery credit, right? And she goes, "That's not me. That's Kyle."
Yeah, right.
And I was like, "Oh, well, Kyle's a stud then."
It's funny every time you try and give someone on the team credit.
Yeah,
they're like, "Oh no, actually, this person did that," or "Oh, this person helped me out with that."
Because there are so many things that take particular skill sets, like editing or the actual production or the quality of a film. Like I'm not great with a camera, right?
Yeah.
So we're sitting next to a guy that takes a lot of pictures. I'm like, hey, can you make this look good and send this over to me? You know what I mean? Like,
yes, 100%.
Everybody kind of has their things that they can do.
Yeah, and we're just a couple of ding dongs that talk on the radio every morning.
Well, you wait till I figure out how to turn on the buttons. It's about to be on and cracking.
On and popping. As soon as I figure out them buttons, it's only been 50 years. I don't know when that's coming, but
now, in my defense, okay, man, I tell you,
go figure out them buttons one of these days. Boy, you watch out.
Let's see if your teeth loosen here in a minute. The thing is, it is overwhelming back there.
Oh, no, there's a lot going on.
I'm afraid to even go back there.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch a thing. I would never. Not in a million years. I'd go back there. And so back in a previous life, like several previous lives ago, I would sometimes run soundboards for weddings at the church I grew up at. And like I could barely do that. You're talking one soundboard, like 2 or 3 sliders that you have to deal with and like on, off. Like that's. And I was like, that's my wheelhouse, is just a couple of different deals. And Shane's got like 4 different streams going back there that we got to deal with.
Do you know for the first 10 years I did this, I did not control my own mic button.
Really?
Nope.
That's the one thing, like, man, I would love my mic button.
I didn't. I'm like, hey, you got this? And whenever we had a fill-in producer, I was like, hey, man.
Just so you know. I don't do the mics.
Shane, did you feel bad? Was that?
I love it when the on-air hosts have to control their own mics,
because then we don't yell at you. We're like, "Hey, Shane,
turn it on. I'm trying to talk here." You're like, "How does it start when I don't have the mic on?" And we're back.
Yeah, it would be lovely.
Oh, he just low key cut you up.
Well, I mean, he's really cutting himself up because he doesn't turn my mic on time. So I mean,
Shane, how does he sound again, Shane?
No, you know what I do? I go. Yeah, I'm going to do muffled because my mic's not on. Welcome back. And then I just stare at Shane. And I go, hey, can we turn the music down anytime now, bud?
There's a lot of passive aggressiveness.
I'm
going on
not
right
listening
now.
to the music that's sent to you.
He sounded like he was like getting ready to beatbox. little script.
Listen, I would love to be able to control my mic. Turn it on, be like, Shane, turn the music down. Let's go.
So the DJ can't spin. I guess not.
The DJ cannot spin. Let's get to Don. Wants to talk a little Adrian Martinez. Don, what's going on, buddy?
What's going on, gentlemen? How you doing this morning?
What's up, buddy?
Wow, this is Damon's obligatory moment to tell me to not say bad things. So I'll give you your
don't swear.
opportunity.
Don't swear.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, have you guys been? Well, I figured we'd get away from all the single ladies for a moment and talk some sports. So, have you guys been watching the UFL at all?
I love it. I was telling Kugler a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, we had him on.
I think the UFL is fantastic.
I think it's great, but have you watched a gentleman by the name of Adrian Martinez at all?
Yeah, he is flourishing.
Oh, you mean the K-State guy?
He's going to be in the
Yeah, the
MVP.
K-State guy.
Wow.
Hey, they changed his motion. He throws way more accurate. He still runs. And the product kind of stinks because it's like watching a COVID game because there's no fans unless you're watching Birmingham at home.
Well, they appear to be head and shoulders. I'm a big I'm a big UFL guy.
I don't think he was that. I mean, because he was one of the last cuts in Detroit last time, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, and he looks better. So I think there's a chance he makes a roster in the fall. I really do.
Hey. I think there is too. And here's the thing. So we had Weekend at Bernie's, the quarterback whisperer down in Lincoln for 4 years. We couldn't do anything with the guy.
Wow.
Uncle Mario.
So where was the development? Because within the last year and a half, that guy's a different human. I mean, know it's NFL.
Don, we could have this conversation about a variety of position groups. I mean, we thought Bryce Benhart was a bum until last fall, and now we're like, oh, thank God he came back and didn't go to the NFL. Like, so we have this conversation about a lot of guys.
Yeah. We won't get
who would have been mad? Who would have been mad about Ty Robinson not coming back a year and a half ago? Not a soul.
No.
And now we're like, oh, thank God our defense is going to be great again.
Yeah. Well, maybe.
Are you guys done?
Same dudes on team. I'm saying a lot of same dudes. A lot of same dudes.
DB's like third wheel at a date right now.
I'm in the sidecar, wanting the helmet.
But it's a cool helmet. We got you like a.
We did.
I want the one with like the spikes or the mohawk.
The dinosaur one.
Yeah.
But, my buddy's kids got the dinosaur helmets.
But wait, you don't have to wear helmets anymore, do you?
No,
I would in the sidecar though.
You probably
I
should.
don't have enough control.
Like just because you don't have to.
I don't own a motorcycle because I don't trust other drivers in a car. The last thing I'm going to do is be on two wheels instead of four.
Yeah, and with no shell around me.
I appreciate the call,
Yeah.
Don. Got away with one. He wove in all the single ladies.
That was good. That was a good reference. I
How
like
about
that. I mean, we only talked about Beyonce for like 30 seconds, but it's fine.
So the best thing about Adrian Martinez is him getting up from that knee injury in like week 1 or 2 that looked really, really bad. And he came back the same game.
Yeah.
And now, he's splitting time with your boy Dart, who
Jackson.
A lot of people liked.
I'm sorry, miss.
In college.
I thought he was okay.
Me too. I didn't get it. Well, I'm still trying to figure out, and maybe I need to go to Lincoln East and ask them, but how do you stockpile so many good quarterbacks like Kiffin does at Ole Miss?
Maybe they're just good at development. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're only okay when they get there. I don't know.
By the way, keep an eye on Lincoln East.
Boy, I don't know.
Starts with quarterback play. They got a handful, I don't even. That doesn't even include Wordley because I don't know if he'll play this year.
I don't even recognize what we're doing here. I do know that we'll wrap up the show. No, we got another hour left. What am I doing? We got Mike Sautter coming up next.
We will be back. We will be back. We will be back. We will be back.
Hello.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Radio.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Mike Sautter.
Yeah.
Mike Sautter.
Oh, man, you're going to put me on the spot.
Mike Sautter.
Kicking off hour number 3 here on Hurrdat Sports Radio, AM 590, ESPN Omaha, ESPN Tri-Cities, KFOR in Lincoln. We're live on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here on the Pillar Exterior stage, where we are joined by the one and only Mike Sautter of our very own Hurrdat Sports. Mike, what's going on, man?
A lot is going on. State baseball starts today.
Nice.
State soccer has been going on and continues today. That's my day.
Do you park in the same place?
Try to. Yeah.
That's the only real, but I mean, it's downtown, so
yeah,
that's everybody. But
well, they have like a lot that's kind of supposed to be reserved.
Is that how it's been functioning?
But they have graduations yesterday and today. So when I get there, like 11 something, it's going to be a little dicey probably.
Wow. Graduations.
Yeah. They have like the different school of whatever graduation.
I know. Seems like weird timing.
That's about right.
AM on a Friday?
Oh, yeah, maybe.
The main one's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, I understand.
CHI.
I thought you meant time of year, and I was like, no, it's about. But yeah.
AM.
I was like,
I'm dumb. I'm not that dumb.
Well, no, I just kind of forget that.
No, you know what you wanted to say? You never know. I know that look.
No, honestly, it was. I forget.
I'm dumb. I'm not that dumb.
I forget we're this far into May already. Like that's what that look was it took me a minute to be like, oh no, we're not in March anymore. Because in my head, I can't believe it's May already.
Yeah,
that's all that was. I wasn't, this time I wasn't calling you dumb. I'll just let you know to your face next time if I do.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
I'm pretty upfront about it when I call you
stupid.
stupid.
For your support.
I'm kind of on the ready for this school year to be over.
Are you?
Part. Yeah.
So, because it's interesting for you, because you got
It's
the
a
final,
lot.
you got state winding down, and then you're going to get ready for
June
7-on-7.
Let me tell you, like people ask me, all the time, like, oh, March is like your busiest month or whatever. And I tell people, and they're shocked when I tell them. I said, no, June. June's my busiest month without a question. Like, without a question.
Recruiting picks up.
All of it. Yeah.
7-on-7.
Passing leagues and basketball team camp, whatever, Monday night, summer league stuff. There's just stuff. Every day there's stuff. Remember 3 years ago, I challenged myself to do a 30-day challenge of being on a basketball court, baseball field, softball field, football field for all 30 days in June. And I did it. And I got to day 26, and it was a little rough because it was like Father's Day. So I found a Legion JV baseball tournament to go to on that day.
On Father's Day.
I was so far down the line, I wasn't going to give it up.
You were pot committed. Did you take the girls?
I took one. Yeah. Well, yeah, I took my oldest daughter, which she has a recital thing tonight that I have to go to too.
Where's that?
The Rose downtown. So it's
yeah.
easy. So I'll just go from soccer over there.
Hello.
Do you know who that is? Do you know
do.
who that is? Do you know who that is?
No.
That's my kid.
Do you know who that is?
It's my kid. It's my kid.
Hello.
Is she practicing?
It's my kid.
Is she practicing?
I guess. I don't know. They saw my mini mic.
She warming up her voice?
Yeah. They saw my little mini mic on my desk, and they were like, can we do that? I go, sure. And then I'm like, okay, this is funny. I'm going to send it to Shane.
It's weird. It's weird because every time Zoe's like, she did it at Let It Fly. She does it here. She wants to put the headsets on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm like, who do you want to talk to?
Yeah, that's my youngest hey, happy birthday, Lily. Today she turns 5.
Oh, it's my nephew's birthday.
Yeah, 5 years old today.
Hello.
So
nice.
Her choice, get this. We're like, hey, birthday dinner last night. Guess where she chose to go? We both know this person very well.
Pisons.
Yeah.
Oh,
She goes, I want to go to Matt's. And I'm like, okay. So he walks in. What does she do? He walks in. What does she do? She literally runs to the door and like gives him a big hug, and he like picks her. I'm like, what?
So
she don't do that for me.
Zoe daps.
You want him to pick you up?
No.
Zoe daps that guy up. Like
what
she
are we
runs
doing?
the place and goes to draw on the board.
Yeah.
And he has this whole Zobear thing, and I'm like, he's not that nice.
No, yeah, I know. If they only knew.
Like, he's just not. He puts her name on her pizzas.
Really?
Do not touch Zobear.
Yeah.
I think he's talking to the boys, probably.
We don't need that.
But that's what he does.
I was saying, is that for like your benefit or for
No,
his
I'm
staff's
not.
benefit?
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not messing
No,
around.
you're
Boys
just
messed
there
up
for
the pizza
pastrami,
last
right?
night.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
Yeah.
That pastrami's on that and extra foil.
All the foil. You got to wrap up the pastrami.
You know what is so good there? And it like people don't know.
What?
The oven baked wings are they're so
Did I tell you
good.
what Coach Rule said about those?
They're so good.
So he did the oven baked in whatever.
Yeah.
And
Buffalo oven baked. They're
this
so
is
good.
honest to God true story.
Mhm.
So Vrzal, we played that night. I think we
Mm-hmm.
played Gretna or somebody, and they went to the game and then they came over. Vrzal dropped we kind of comboed it. Some was from our house, some he brought.
Mm-hmm.
So he beat us back. So he's setting up when the coaching staff gets there because the coach beat me back because, of course, Caleb didn't want to drive. So I had to wait and bring him home, right? So we're about 40 minutes in. There's, games going on. We're talking, and he goes in the kitchen for like the third time. And he goes, "Hey, let's just call this what it is." And we're like, "What's going on?" He held one of the wing ups, and he goes, "Is this not freaking fantastic?" Like, this might be the best wing I've eaten, and I'm from Buffalo. That's what he said.
So good.
Everybody just like pause.
They're
Like,
so good.
where's this guy going with this? And it's funny too. So just so this doesn't go to Matt's head, because I told him real time. I think maybe not till the next. No, he was mad at me because he asked how the food was, and I didn't get back to him for a little bit. So he's mad.
He does get mad at you when you don't get back to him.
Oh, fudge.
Yeah.
So Sunday it was kind of a little hectic, and I finally told him, and he said, "Thanks for telling me, blankety blank blank blank." But then he tried to recreate them for me about a month ago, and I go, those didn't taste the same.
Yeah.
Click.
He hung up on you?
Oh yeah. They are so good.
I was like, I wasn't being ungrateful. I just was saying, like,
no, if you're asking about it, right, you gotta be ready for the answers.
I don't even like sauce on my wings. And they
like a dry rub guy or what?
100%. Like here, I think I'm the only reason
they have dry rubs on the menu
that they do the upcharge for breading.
Yeah,
they do. Like
it's the best. It is the best fried wing in the city.
Those wings are so good. Like, I'm not a spicy person.
Are you breading? No breading.
No,
not
really.
Are you no breading guy too?
No, I like breading.
Get a chicken nugget.
Oh my god!
Yeah, 100%. I like breading.
This dude,
I like breading.
I like bones.
So do I. I do too. I don't mind. I'm just saying.
I
If you're getting
stand people that order boneless wings, like
present.
Like,
you said this dude just said to me.
Like, boneless wing person, right? This is where I'm at. And you're talking to someone that very much so has a 12-year-old palate. Just buy chicken nuggets. It's not a wing, it's a chicken nugget.
Okay, it's not my fault that they call it a wing. It's also not my fault that they don't sell chicken nuggets with sauce on them that I want.
If you want to recreate
like
a
gone
real chicken nugget, go to Baker's or Kroger, get the tempura battered raw.
Like I've gone.
It is the exact carbon copy of a McDonald's.
I ain't trying to buy
I'll go to
That's
Costco.
too expensive probably for me at the grocery store.
$7.99 for the bag.
I'll go to Costco. I'll get my bag of chicken nuggies, and then I'll get my buff.
Wait,
don't say that. Don't say that.
Jiminy Christmas.
I mean, you can go if you want. I'll go. I'll buy my bag. I'll buy my bag of chicken nuggies, and then I go and I grab the Buffalo Wild Wings Parmesan garlic sauce from the other aisle, and I'll just dip it all in there. But guess what? Restaurants don't serve chicken nuggets with Parmesan garlic sauce on them, so I gotta order boneless wings.
Oh my god!
I'm not saying I dislike regular wings, but you get more meat on a boneless wing, and I will take that. And also, like Mr. Little Debbie over here, I'm not taking any crap from you.
Hey,
he's out here. Is like, yeah, I went to the grocery store. I spent $90, and my wife still has to go to the grocery store to buy groceries for the rest of the family.
100%.
You seem very hurt right now.
Like, okay, cool.
100%.
I'm not gonna knock the Little Debbie thing because there's a couple of you guys. Aaron, degenerate Aaron.
I'm not knocking the Little Debbie either.
I don't mind Little Debbie. I mean, I don't buy Little Debbie's. I just shop very thrifty.
This dude is 10 boxes deep. Variety.
Oh, that's a lot.
Cosmic brownie, zebra cake. If it's new, he's trying it. I'm telling you. And he's an adult.
Yeah. I just like to save money when I go to the grocery store, and I would like to buy as many items as I can as close to $1. And that's good.
It's close to $1.
The other day I sent you guys a text.
I know.
The other day I was mad.
Yeah.
I got like 8 things. It was $18. I'm like, what did I do wrong today?
It's incredible.
All I'm saying is,
I just bought gas and I paid $2.91 for gas, and I'm like, that is too much.
You do you at the grocery store. That's cool. I'm just probably not gonna take a lot of judgment about my wing choices. That's fine. Like you get after it. Get your dollar. Your dollar items and whatever. 33 items for $50, which I don't even know how any of that's edible. I can't buy dog. I can't buy dog food for that. Okay,
dog food is
Dog
expensive.
food's stupid expensive.
It is way.
And
that's why I can't wait for Nate
just-
Gary to do his
especially
thing because
especially the stuff that I buy my dog.
Same.
Dude, I have
So
to, I have
my
to,
dog
I have
is-
to find an origin alternative. I can't pay $100
I'm
a
on
bag
like
for
Hill
dog.
Science diet, and that stuff.
My
is
my dog
expensive.
my dog's now we figured out is allergic to like the chicken chicken. So it has to be same. I have to buy my dog. I was almost said the F word. I was like, "You
Tensions are a little high up here. It is a little hot."
I was like, what are we doing? I have to buy like the salmon recipe dog food, which is $10 more than the chicken, and it's
ridiculous.
and my dog is not eats a lot because he's a bulldog,
big boy,
and it's like $80 a bag, and I'm like, what are we? What the? I didn't. I was close right there.
Yes, indeed.
But
I'm
yeah.
gonna let the Nuggies thing slide, but I may I'm out. That's all I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna move on.
Out on
What does
what?
that mean?
Out on what?
Chicken nuggies.
They're gonna be like, "Dang, where'd DB go?" Yeah, he bounced.
You're dang right.
I mean, listen.
It's the
I
fact
shouldn't have
you
even
said,
brought it up.
It's
again, but-
okay.
No,
it's
that's fine.
okay.
At some point, we're gonna get to high school sports.
It's okay
probably
that you like chicken nuggets
Shade, he's
that are
mad.
called wings. Just the fact that you said chicken nuggies
What if I
like you
call
were
them
5.
What if I go and call them chicken tendies? Does that make you feel better?
You're mad.
Listen,
I gotta go.
I want to write this down, but we're on camera. That has a word.
I eat what I want to eat. I call it what I want to call it, and I don't give a rip.
Hey,
I really don't.
I tell this people all the time that make fun of my palate. I say, hey, I'm 44 years old. I like what I like. It probably ain't changing anytime soon. Like it just is what it is. I'm locked in.
I'll go and eat my chicken tendies and chicken nuggies on one hand, and then I'll go and hit up V-Mertz on the other hand, and we're all good.
Get your fine candy.
It's called balance.
I got you. Kind of like how I like rain.
It's gonna rain.
So what are we
Yes.
looking forward to today with soccer?
So today, soccer.
How are you
is-
balancing? Are you all, since baseball's opening, are you all in on soccer today?
No. The baseball game started 14 minutes ago.
I was like, now it's
That's
looking east
so
to
that's
north,
why you're
right?
only doing the one segment.
Yeah. So I'm bouncing to.
Dang, how you gonna do the show by yourself?
You gotta go watch
I'm
my
gonna-
Mustangs.
I'm gonna go to Werner quick.
They're yours now, huh?
Yeah.
Always mine.
Just
Represent.
They get an upset, and they get an upset in a district first round, and then they,
my dude. Listen.
the
me-
dude that's pitched one game, Major Monster, my guy. He pitched one game, and then he just like pitches the lights out in the district final, and they make it.
like Jackson
luckily.
Rocket, or no? I'm just
2000.
I'm a big Major guy.
The last time that all 3 Millard schools made state baseball was 2017, because that is the last time Millard North made state baseball tournament.
they had a little rough run there.
2017. So no, I'm going from here right away. Go to Werner quick.
They just sent Caleb mail in like the coolest envelope.
Caleb?
Monster.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
it has like this cool
Got
M
it.
on it.
Yeah, a little
That's
like
Monster.
insignia.
Yeah,
You know that.
they're such good.
I mean, yeah, Mitch ain't doing that.
Sam,
For
she
sure.
she is sensational.
For sure doing that.
I gotta talk to Mitch about his hair. What are we doing?
He's growing it out. I
It's
think.
long and it's part. And
We've talked to him.
hey, his shoe game.
Oh,
is
it's amazing.
Incredible.
Yeah. Like grown adult. It
This must
shouldn't-
be a Millard North thing, huh, Ravi? You guys in your
Yeah.
shoes?
Long hair and shoes, baby. I got the Jordan 2 lows and creamsicle today.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
I'm just
You
going
and Zay
to.
would get along. That's her favorite.
I'm going to
the Jordan 2 lows are a favorite.
creamsicle.
Oh, okay.
Idiot.
I'm going to the 2 baseball games
She's
today.
gonna be mad that
This morning?
There's baseball games today.
Right now. I'm going to the 2 baseball games quick. The 2 morning Class A games that are happening right now. Just stop by, get some photos, stuff.
By Miller North Mustangs.
Leave, and then be at soccer for noon. The noon games today.
You call it
Semifinals.
wide open or top heavy in baseball?
Which class?
A.
It's top heavy.
Top heavy.
Yeah. If one of the 4 doesn't win it, I still feel
But
that
that
way.
4 legit
I felt that way all year though. Like if one of the 4
numbers say the same.
yeah, if one of the 4 doesn't win it, then something crazy happened. And East is clearly the favorite. Like Lincoln East is clearly the favorite in baseball.
Until they lose today against Miller North.
I'm
just saying they're clearly the favorite.
Quietly I said this off air to you, out loud, like something in the water at East with this cycle they're on.
Yeah, they're killing it right now,
and they have a good young crop
Yeah.
coming up too in football.
Yeah.
I don't
So-
know about what they're going to do up front, but their skill guys, quarterback, play, wide receiver, is going to be pretty good. Remember that.
Wonder if Jeter's going to play.
Yeah, I feel like this when I said the same thing about Millard South about 6 years ago. I'm like, this program's going to be on the come.
And then
So
Lincoln,
I don't think he plays.
You don't think he's going to play?
I don't think he plays football.
It'd be hard. I don't know. Those guys like to do multi-sport stuff, you know?
Man, it'd be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, Noah Walters did.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, going to catch at Michigan.
I know. It's different.
I'll say is Noah Walters the prospect in either that Jeter is.
He's going to catch at Michigan.
He's really good.
He's fantastic.
And like not only that, like he's their leadoff hitter and he's super fast, good base runner, all that stuff. So Millard West, Elkhorn South is interesting because Elkhorn South beat them in the district final. So, you know, that was last week, the last game that both teams played. And I think the pitching matchup's probably the same. At least I know Elkhorn South's throwing the same guy. So
that was always the challenge. It wasn't a fun thing in high school where you would see like the same guy like
right away
3 or 4 times in a X amount of stretch, and everybody has their tendencies and habits, right? It's just who can.
I think the one
take advantage of.
Yep.
The one in baseball that we're not probably isn't getting enough run. Bellevue West. Bellevue West is super dangerous, super good.
So the last couple of years, their talent is good.
Yeah, Grego's good.
They have a lot of individual good pieces.
Glance,
little Glance.
Yeah, well, I was good. Yeah,
I saw
Nate's little brother.
I saw younger Goodwater. I think it's Caleb Goodwater at middle school track. He's going to be a good player. Ben's little brother.
Yeah,
he's going to be a good player.
Ben's a hurdler, 300 hurdler guy. By the way, I didn't know that until like a couple weeks ago.
Can't remember that.
Those long distance hurdlers are nuts.
Yeah, it's different.
Those are terrible events.
Yeah. And baseball, just sticking with baseball and B, Norris is probably to lose unless Elkhorn North can find some other pitching outside of Colin.
That was how I kind of felt about Scud after Cade.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the deal is you need a little bit more, and C is Malcolm's favorite to win C, and I could see Central City giving them a run though.
I'll be there tonight.
In Central City.
Yeah,
they will be playing in Elkhorn tonight.
And then Parker
this morning.
I was
tomorrow.
Gonna say,
tomorrow morning. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say because Aiden's little brother is playing, and they're back in Omaha, so we're flip flopping.
Yeah.
You just wave as you drive by each other.
Yeah.
Like, oh, see ya.
The soccer semis are today and tomorrow. So Class A semis are today.
That's tonight, right? 5:30, 7:30.
The girls are noon and 2, and that's Marion, Pius, and then Southwest and Lincoln East. And then boys is Prep, Papio South at 5:30, and Lincoln Southwest, Omaha South at 7:30, which is that 7:30 is very intriguing. There's gonna be a lot of people there, obviously, but
stylistically too.
Yeah, very much so. Southwest likes to just, I'm not a soccer expert here, but I've watched, I don't know, every single game this week so far. Southwest likes to just control pace, and Omaha South would like to just get going. So it'll be a little interesting.
Boy, those two head coaches couldn't be any more different.
Yeah. One's a little quieter and reserved.
Yeah, Southwest going for the sweep.
Yeah, that would be something. I mean, especially in Lincoln, obviously winning would be something. Just Lincoln in general. If you had, let's say you have on the girls' side, you have Southwest Pius playing each other for a final. That would be. Marion's probably the
Lincoln Cup.
Marion's pretty good though.
Yeah.
Even though Carney gave them a major scare.
We just talked to Kyle, and he's going to go check that out and then get to Wake and Clemson.
I mean,
you're dang right.
Marion Carney put a real big scare into them. That would have been a major. That would have been a major upset that people talk about for a long time. And then in Class B, Scott boys. Now I think clearly the favorite because Mount Michael upset South Sioux City last night in penalty kicks. Get this stat.
That for whatever the reason, it flooded my timeline.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know how it got in the
algorithm,
but it was. I mean, a variety.
Yeah.
I'm watching highlights.
Scott girls play Duchesne, which they've played twice already this year. Duchesne has beaten them both times, but it was like 2-1. So we'll see if they can get that done. But Gretna East, clearly the favorite. The story of the state soccer tournament is Sonora Defini, and if she can get 3 more goals, if she can, she'll break the single season scoring record that Katie Hobbs had of 54 goals in the season, which is remarkable. She's 2 away from tying.
Well,
she had 6 the other day.
I was going to say, when you score 12 as a team in the opener,
it helps.
Yeah.
You get some opportunities there.
And there's a lot of conversation about that 12-3 game. And it was what, 7-0, and he like subbed out, and then they scored 3, and then he brings them back in, like the starters back in to, and played them kind of a lot of the second half. But like, what do you do? Because if you're Gretna East, that game could have been over in 30 minutes because there's a 10 goal rule, like mercy rule. So like, do you want to just play like you probably want to get a full 80 in if you can. So it's like, it's a real fine kind of line. So, and then they scored 3 goals. So
I don't know if I'd want to get a full 80 in.
Yeah. I mean, it was 9-3 and he brings the starters back in, but like even their backups are still pretty good. So, but the story is Sonora, and like she's going to Oklahoma State. She's really good. Scott boys and girls have won 21 straight state tournament games combined.
That's a lot.
I had to think about that for a second.
21 straight. That's remarkable if you think about it.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
Between the two
combined, 21 straight state tournament games they've won.
You know what they always say? Recruiting.
Jeez. I did not say that.
Yes, you did.
Mike Sautter.
I'm telling
I did not say that.
Mike Sautter for the S word.
Mike Sautter here for recruiting. We'll be back with more Hurrdat Sports Radio.
We will be back. 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 You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Radio.
We're not a team that's hoping to have a ton of turnover. We're hoping to have continuity, and we're hoping to have a cohort carry its way through and accomplish something, at the end of their time. And so when you have the ability to have more young coaches being hands-on on the field, more developmental, being able to take corrections. Like, for example, I mentioned the scout team earlier. We don't follow cards on scout team, more or less. We try and put, if we're preparing for, say, Michigan, we try and put Michigan's offense into our terminology so that our offensive players are continuing to develop under our system.
We're back here on Hurrdat Sports Radio, AM 590, ESPN Omaha, ESPN Tri-Cities, KFOR in Lincoln. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here on the Twitter, Facebook, YouTube streams. You can find us wherever. And this weekend, you can find me over at Warhorse Sportsbook. I'll probably be at Horseman's Park, because Omaha, a little closer. But, DB maybe spend a little time in Lincoln this weekend. He might go over to the casino down in Lincoln to the best place in Nebraska to place your sports bets. That's Warhorse Sportsbook, whether it's NHL, NBA. I don't know what else we got going on this weekend we could bet on.
Golf.
Ooh, do a little golf. Not quite to tennis yet. I'm starting to look at some early Wimbledon lines for about a month from now. We'll see what's going on here.
Yeah, I like to follow multiple things, but you wanting to have a Wimbledon segment would be even new for me.
I mean, listen, it's we don't have to do it, but I'm definitely going to bet on it for sure. And I'm going to do it over at Warhorse Sportsbook. If you have any questions, go to warhorsecasino.com/sportsbook to get a full list of details and house rules. That's Warhorse Sportsbook. No bets, no glory. Listen, I realize it's probably too niche for a lot of people to care about, and that's okay.
Is that the cool way to say niche, or is it niche?
I have no idea. I say it different probably every other time that I say it. I say niche, or niche. And I don't like snitch, niche. You got like niche, and snitch. Niche? I don't know.
I'm intrigued by the segment because I've never heard a tennis segment before. So I want to know what the questions would be. I mean, do you talk about?
We probably won't do it. DB's right. Like, not enough people care about tennis. I get it. That's fine.
I'm intrigued.
No, it's fine. Like I get it. It's okay. Not everything that I care about, other people care about, and I'm okay with that.
Well, that's kind of how I feel about baseball sometimes. But I told you we could have a great tennis segment with me, you, and Cody Manquist.
But baseball is way more mainstream than tennis. I mean,
no, I get it.
Dramatically more.
I totally get it.
Although at this, honestly, I don't know. At one point, baseball was my favorite sport. At this point, I might like tennis more than baseball.
And then, like most things, you've gotten worse with age.
Rude. It's aggressive. I don't even know why you got to do that. Why you got to be like that? Why? Because I like football now more? Okay. Yeah, terrible take.
So we're watching the Lions and the Niners. Are you worried? You're down 14-0. What do you think happens here?
I think that the second coming of Tom Brady, Brock Purdy, is going to lead us back to the promised land. We'll be good to go.
Yeah. Think he shakes it off, this slow start?
I think so. You know, he's got good composure. He's got some poise that we like. I think it's going to be okay.
Okay.
Got a lot of weapons. Christian McCaffrey's pretty good.
How good is Detroit going to be this year?
I will see.
They should be pretty good.
They should be. But not everybody deals with success well.
515 Dave _.
Well, on the stream?
Yeah, my man says scale of 1 to 10 for tennis. It's a -3.
That's cool. That's fine. That's okay.
You got some people riding with you on your terrible food takes, though.
I mean, what was a terrible food take? You just are mad that I called it a nugget.
It's I mean, I guess you can spend your money on what you like. It's just weird that of all the things you tried to sell me on a chicken strip yesterday. Do you remember this conversation?
Yeah.
I said, hey,
it was really good.
That's fine. Yeah. Like I'm not
a chicken tendy, if you will.
It's all I can do to not say what I want to say because this time around I do like my job.
Stay on the show, bud. Stay on the show.
I really got to be careful.
It really screws with me. You're gonna have to stop doing that. It just would be so far down on the list.
So here's let me give you my explanation why I will do. And honestly, this is the only time I eat chicken nuggets or chicken tenders. Is when I am in the car. Mm-hmm. I have to get something to eat, and I don't want something that could potentially drip on what I'm wearing.
Yeah. So so I'm with you there.
If you get a sandwich or something, there's always something on the sandwich. You never, and especially listen. A lot of times you go to a fast food place and like maybe they get a little aggressive with the ketchup or something, and like you just never know, right? And so chicken tenders and chicken nuggets are safe in terms of me not making a mess.
When we used to travel together, it doesn't seem like we're in the car very much the last couple of years, but when we used to travel, I wanted sandwiches, mm-hmm. and so I would always, like if Jay was in the passenger seat, I would say, hey, can you separate this and take this off and just hand it back to me. Mm-hmm. But now that that doesn't present itself a ton, I get the ingredients different.
Yeah.
Like I just go plain.
Yeah, because you can't have.
Because I can't
make a mess.
Yes, and taking Zoe back to school Tuesday from the doctor. Mm-hmm. She wanted to go back to school, which is good, and Doc didn't find anything in her, like whatever. And I was traumatized because she had just missed lunch. It was 12:10, so mm-hmm. I called the school and I said, "Hey, is it possible for her to eat lunch?" And she said, "Nah, we know what your teacher." And I was like, "It's Mrs. Shupin." And she said, "No, they're out on the playground." And so I'm like, "Dang, I'm not about to go back home and eat."
Yeah,
let her eat.
So go drive through.
And I'm telling you, I drove about 27 miles an hour. Mm-hmm. I stopped over in a parking lot. I put the ketchup packets in the chicken nuggets box. Mm-hmm. I got
try to keep it contained.
Yeah. I had a T-shirt in my gym bag. I put it over her lap, and I was like, "Do not spill."
Yeah.
And every time we got to a stoplight, I would look at her, and her face would turn red. And I said, "I'm sorry, Zoe. I don't mean to scare you. Like, because I could tell she's traumatized. She's like, this dude may snap. Like if I do it." So I had to like give her some freedom to like be a normal.
You had to reel it back a little bit.
You just don't eat. We just don't eat in the car.
Yeah.
Number one. And
I eat in the car all the time because I'm always going somewhere. If I'm going to an event or whatever.
Me too. I'll wait.
Chicken nuggets can be okay for a filler, like if you have your sandwich and you need just like a little bit more. I mean,
what would you know about a filler? You haven't finished a 12-ounce beer in 30 years. You cut your burgers in half.
Yeah.
You took a half of a French dip. Like, what would you know about a filler?
Maybe sometimes I get hungry.
Did you not just hear the entire thing about not eating sandwiches in the car? That was the entire point. Like, how am I supposed to use chicken nuggets as a filler for a sandwich if I'm not eating sandwiches in the car?
Did you just ask Shane if he was listening?
Indirectly, yes.
I was trying to stick up for you there, Ravi. And he slammed on me.
Yeah. Ravi's in that. He's in that place. We're just letting him kind of go.
No, here's why I eat in the car.
Don't put that crap on me.
So I am super paranoid about having a low blood sugar somewhere if I don't know there's going to be food.
I'm with you.
So I will always eat in the car on the way somewhere.
Yeah.
Because I'm just not putting myself in a situation where I could have a low blood sugar. I don't know if there's going to be food there. I don't know where I can get food. And so I just take care of it on the front end. So I eat in the car a lot. And it's the easiest thing. If I'm going somewhere, I need to make sure I don't look like a slob, which it's tough for me. I go chicken nuggets, chicken tenders. It's the safest thing.
Yeah, it would be.
I get it. It's like it's not my first choice. It is a practical choice, right?
Yeah.
Like I would much rather have something else, but out of the things that make sense for what I'm trying to accomplish, there's a couple places I was like, oh, that's actually really good.
We will embrace it.
That's all.
Hey, we will embrace it.
I will ride with the boneless wing, though. I love boneless wings. I like a regular wing. I'm not one of these crazy people that's like, oh, I hate regular
Some
wings.
people don't like it.
Although I do want a drummy over a flat.
I don't really. I'll eat both.
I'll eat both, but I want the drummy.
I mean, I would eat boneless wings. I'm just not buying them.
Yeah, I don't make the distinction. If it's on there, it's what I want, then I'll have it.
I don't like it.
You buy hot dogs and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah, I'll eat hot dogs out. 100%. Man, there's a place, I mean, besides like Costco, because you got to get Costco hot dog. But there's a place that we both like, a sandwich place that has incredible hot dogs.
Really?
Yeah. It's a chain, so I can say it. Gandolfo's.
Oh, they're sensational.
Yeah, they have really good hot dogs.
I see that again. That wouldn't be what I get there.
Yeah.
It would just. I have a hard time between like the top 6 there.
Yeah.
And when I used to go more, I would rotate.
I get the same.
It would be very far down.
I get the same 2 things every time. I get the I Heart New York sandwich with the Russian dressing instead of the mustard. Not a Russian dressing guy?
No.
Come on, man. Just so we get a little bit of sports in this segment, Mike Budenholzer probably going to be your new Phoenix Suns head coach.
Unbelievable how they fired Vogel like that.
I do think Budenholzer is a good coach, though.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know if it's an upgrade.
He almost lost his job before KD couldn't find the 3-point line, too.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like KD is a common factor here in people being and having problems. Wow. I'm just saying.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
That time it helped Budenholzer out.
No titles without Curry. All right, we'll be back to wrap up the show with Matt Vrzal.
We will be back. We will be back. will be back. We will be back.
Surprise, surprise.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Radio. Now let's find out what Matt Vrzal is better at. Telling stories or making pizza.
Matt.
Matt's an exceptional young man.
Matt Vrzal.
Happy birthday, Matt.
You know, Matt, he's a tremendous athlete.
Matt Vrzal.
Come on, Matt, I'm with you.
You know, like Matt Vrzal, you're one of the sexiest people in the world, but you're not one of the most beautiful. How does that happen?
Here is Matt Vrzal.
All right, Matt, thank you very much.
We're back here to wrap up the show on Hurrdat Sports Radio, AM 590, ESPN Omaha, ESPN Tri-Cities, KFOR in Lincoln. We're live on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube from the Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill on the Pillar Exterior stage. We are joined now by Matt Vrzal, former Husker, owner of Paisans Pizzeria. Verz, how are you this morning?
Good. What's going on, Ravi?
Oh, not too much. Just riding solo with you here today. So trying to keep it on the rails. No more nervous than I always am to talk to you.
Where's Pretty Boy at?
He had to go take a family phone call. So had to head
so
out.
He's there. He's just not on yet. Is he gone?
No, he got into the car to go. So he had to. I think he had to get over to talk with Jay and everybody. So
got it.
Yep. So had to get family stuff. So all good on that front there. But so we were talking about your wings. Me and DB and Sautter were talking about the wings over there a minute ago, which I don't think I've actually had yet. And I started getting a little bit of. I started to feel like I was missing out a little bit here.
Yeah. I mean, we sucked at them when we first started. Like, we were bad.
Yeah.
Really bad. But it's like anything. You know, you do if you set standard operating procedures and you repeat them over and over again, then you just kind of figure it out. But yeah, no, they're good. Sautter, I know, likes them. Damon always like raves about them and never orders them, so I don't know how to take that. But it's Damon, so we just let it slide.
You just take it with a little grain of salt there. I hear the old head ball coach is a fan of the wings too, so that must be nice.
Yeah. We took him over. We took him over to Caleb's in-home visit night, and yep, evidently Coach Rule likes it. Damon doesn't let me talk to him a whole bunch. He keeps me at arm's distance from Coach Rule. I've offered him, like, you guys can come in and eat sometime, sit down, shoot the breeze, but that's never happened. So,
Well, if you don't, you don't serve sushi, so I don't know that he's, I don't know if that's in his palate all the time.
What's happening?
That is true. We do not.
So we were talking about this a little bit earlier, DB and I, about how, like Dr. Elza was talking yesterday, and we've heard Coach Rule talk a lot about just kind of these little things that all matter, right? And I know you've talked about it, whether you're talking about making the wings there or, you've talked about it at the restaurant and trying to make sure you do all the little things right. And it raised the question in my head about how you keep from getting lost in the minutia of all the little things and keeping the end goal in mind. Like, how do you go about that?
So there's a good rule out there. It's an 80% rule. Now, all of the little things matter in the end, right? And that's a two-way street. We've had a big rash of there's literally a sign on the door that says, leave your drinks outside, don't bring other food in here. It's just kind of rude.
Mm-hmm.
And I had some dude freaked out the other day because I made him take his tumbler out to the car, and then some gal got pissed off because her 72-quart Stanley, I wouldn't let her bring it in. Like, listen, man, if you don't want the water here, guess what we make the pizza out of?
Yeah.
The water here. So just leave that. And then, but anyway, if you can get somebody to do something 80% as good as you can, then you should let them do it all the time. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my goal is a little higher. I like to have them at about a 95% proficiency of it. But if they get to 80, I will turn it over to them because there's other things I can do to be more productive. Now, you also have to go back and check on things and make sure that they're operating still at that current level because people will relax if they can. It translates into sports too, because as I go through a season with the boys,
mm-hmm.
once they grasp the drills that we do, then I will just say the drill name. They will then organize the drill. So now I'm not setting up cones. I'm not doing that kind of stuff. Our warm up. We've got our warm up down now to just hand motions.
Mm.
And if I'm not there, if I'm late or running behind, and the senior boys know they take it over because we still operate on a time frame. So minutia is for control freaks
mm-hmm.
because you have to delegate things out. If you don't delegate, then you're going to be in trouble.
So in your mind, the difference between getting lost in the weeds and paying attention to detail is the willingness to delegate those details out to other leaders?
The willingness to do it, but then the doubt in yourself that you trust and you've trained them to do it.
Mm.
Trust and train are the big things. If I don't trust you, then I shouldn't have you here. If I haven't trained you, then that's my fault.
Mm.
That's it. And that's, those are things that I've learned the hard way. But then there's also other things you just have to do. But trust and train are the big ones. Like, if I don't trust you, then I shouldn't have you here in any organization. And if I haven't trained you, then it's my fault. But if I've trained you and you do it wrong, then it's your fault. So now we got to fix you. We got to retrain. We got to do those kind of things. So then we don't have to worry about it anymore.
Is part of that trusting that they understand what the end goal is?
If they don't understand that, then competency probably comes into play.
Okay.
Now, if they understand the value of the end goal, that's why, like, a compliment. If you watch Rule and how he operates,
mm-hmm.
a compliment is always deferred. A criticism is always taken. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Look at it in life. Hey, you guys had a great show today. Oh yeah, Ravi and I did a great job. We bantered back and forth. Shane did an awesome job of producing. The guys at Hurrdat, the guys and gals at Hurrdat had it set up great in the morning. It was a good start. Paisan, hey Vrzal, that was one of the best pizzas we've ever had here. Awesome. The boys did a fantastic job. Alex cooked it great. Megan got it to your table. Katie got it to your table in time. That was it. Now, hey Vrzal, this is a little off. It's kind of dark. It's burnt. That's my fault. I didn't do that correctly. I was bothering Alex while he was working in the oven. I'll get you one flipped around and we'll get you a new one. Right?
Mm-hmm.
compliment always passed on. Rule will say that. Hey, DBs look good. That Coop does a great job. He's always got those guys working, and then he'll list off 4 or 5 players. Hey, I couldn't notice, that the running backs were struggling a little bit. Oh, yeah, I probably ran him a little too hard. We got a little after him a little too much. Maybe we got to go back and we got to reassess and build up some confidence and blah, 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 blah. That's how I've viewed it, and that's how I've had success with things in life. But that's, again, if you don't know the end goal, which is the success of the team, then you're probably in the wrong line of whatever you're doing.
We're talking with Matt Vrzal, former Husker, owner of Pison's Pizzeria. Earlier this week, DB and I were talking a little bit about how many offensive linemen on this team we think we trust to play in actual games. Have you given much thought about that? How deep you think this group could potentially go?
I haven't much because we haven't had a chance to watch many of them play.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking in games.
Right.
Practice is one thing. If we get a nice rotation where we get early leads in the first game, we can get guys in the game so we can see more. Then I can tell you who I trust and who I don't. I mean, right now I trust Evans Jenkins.
Right.
And then after that, I just need to see. There's a lot I want to trust.
Sure.
But, I think another off season of great workouts and conditioning and agility. I just got to see some more from it in a live game scenario. They got more bodies than they've had in a while. The bodies look better than they have in a long time. So now hopefully we get it to a point where they translate, they trust them to be on the field in a crucial situation. Not necessarily all of them at once, but you just slide one guy in there with the other starting 5 and just give him some live fire and see how it goes.
In an ideal world, how many guys would you want to have ready to go that you felt good about?
In an ideal world?
Yeah,
20.
Your best. Okay.
I mean, look, the mindset and the mentality of it, and I know that always gets a giggle, but look at Michigan last year, okay? Mm-hmm. Zach Zinter broke his leg. And after his substitute went in, I don't know the young man's name, I apologize for that. Did you hear any broadcasts where anybody questioned Zach Zinter's replacement?
Nope.
There wasn't a word said about it. Quiet as kept, as your co-host said. But if you can get if you can get to 10 for sure, and it's a luxury, I know it. It's a luxury you have to build, but you told me in my perfect world. Mm-hmm. I'm going to try to get to 15 because part of me is greedy.
Yeah.
If I've built it with 10, I think I can build it to 15. And now I'm into rinse, lather, repeat. Oh my gosh, are you nervous? You're graduating 4 guys. Nope, not really, because I got Dish, Taylor, Anderson, Ott coming behind it, and we're going to be as good, if not better. So, you good with that? Yeah, we don't think you are, but I'm like, great. Go ahead and doubt us and see how this goes. Okay? 96 didn't work out. Hey, what are you going to do now with these guys? Well, we still got some of the ones that started. We're going to plug in Paul Exaska and Heskey with Taylor. See how that goes. Oh, that went pretty good.
That went just fine.
It's just when you get that, when you're in that zone and the defensive line room and the offensive line room are your deepest rooms, then you're going to be good for eternity.
That's our guy, Matt Vrzal, former Husker owner of Pison's Pizzeria. Verse, have a good weekend, bud.
See ya.
That's Hurrdat Sports Radio for the week. We'll be back on Monday.
See you. Have a good day. Love you.